he's doing a lot for this great nation in the process of making America great again, strengthening our appearance, or our appearance on the world stage in terms of making sure we're more respected worldwide. The effort to strengthen the economy. Listen, there's a lot of things that folks would suggest that Trump is doing, strengthening our military, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to ask you folks, simply put, do the Republican Party, the Republican politicians themselves, do they appreciate what President Trump is doing for this nation when they talk to us? Or are they feeding us a bill of goods? In other words, are they telling us how great Trump is to our faces when they actually have something different to say when the cameras are not on? That's what we're going to talk about.
We're not listening. So I want to know, what do Republicans say to each other when we're not listening about what's happening in America right now?
Look, so many of my fellow party members, especially come up to me because I say all this stuff out loud, and they in the green room at ABC, listen, you're so brave. That's so great. I totally agree with you. He's nuts. And then they go out on camera to be interviewed. They're the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln. And then they come back in the green room and they say to me, I have to do that, but I don't really mean it. That's what they say.
Like who specifically?
All right, Bill. Overtime's not long enough to give you all the names, but I'll give you one. Lindsey Graham.
So he not only said, in Handsome Conservative, it says, I can't figure out how to send a sub or join. I don't know a lot about this, Handsome, because we're on Substack now, folks. And I see somebody in the comments saying, I can't figure out how to send a sub or join your live. I don't know how to operate Substack yet. I just want to make sure folks know we're live on Substack for the first time tonight, and I will figure it out as the days go on. But I don't know how to advise you how to do that yet either, Handsome Conservative. But in regards to what Chris Christie just stated, not only is he indicating that Republicans on television say one thing and then behind folks' back, they're painting Trump as a different way. He actually gave a name. He actually said Lindsey Graham. So by way of yes or no in the comments, how many of you folks believe that many members of the Republican Party are flat out lying to our faces? And I'm talking about to their own constituents. I'm talking about lying to MAGA voters, where they're telling MAGA voters how great Trump is to their faces, but behind the scenes, they don't think Trump is great. How many of you folks, by way of yes or no, do you believe that is true, as Chris Christie just stated, that behind their backs, they're saying, they're actually saying that they don't trust this guy or they don't favor this guy or something of that nature? Looking in the comments, a lot of you folks are saying yes. However, hey, what's that says, LOL, Tim, come on. Yeah. Oh, you do believe it. Okay, so yeah, a lot of you folks do believe that. Toad says, definitely lying. They're making tons of money. So you believe the politicians are being dishonest about President Trump because they're getting paid on the back end? Look, I'm not going to argue with that. Politicians do get into it for the money. So I suppose there is Democrats, listen, folks talking about Biden's cognitive abilities were so great that Biden could serve this nation until 2028. A lot of Democrats were saying that to folks' faces, but behind the scenes did not feel that he could remain as a cognitive ready president. George Stephanopoulos got caught saying that, so of ABC News. So there were Democrats doing the same on President Biden. Looking in the comments, just here to say that you, sir, are an idiot, says Listen, let me just say something real quick, by the way, folks. This program is uncensored. We don't black ban or censor anybody. We don't. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. If you feel anyone, including the host, is saying something stupid, why not be the smart one and actually add something to your comment? You sir are an idiot. It's empty. The comment is idiotic. You got a whole fucking paragraph you could type. You're an idiot because of this, or you just said this. That doesn't make sense. Add something to your fucking statement. Otherwise, come over here and sit with the rest of the idiots. You sound just like one. Anyway, it's uncensored. I'll leave the box open to you, sir. I'll give you time to rethink your statement. Fix up your insult a little bit. We'll give you credit. Fix up your insult. Anyway, looking in the comments, no outrage for him back then. What do you mean by no outrage for him? So in addition to that, of course, because we're talking about the Lion King videos, what they're calling it, I guess, that Trump posted yesterday, folks immediately rushed out to suggest that the video was posted by a staffer. I mean, there's been a bunch of stories that came out. Carolyn Levitt gave her own explanation of it. Obviously, MAGA were all over social media giving various explanations of what Trump was trying to say. Nevertheless, Trump ultimately did chime in himself and explain what the hell that was we were looking at. I suppose in some detail, not totally.
Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. And they had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered it. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff on the Lion King. I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time, as far as I'm concerned.
What does that mean by the least racist? I mean, look, if I say, the least of something, that doesn't mean you're excluded from it. Why is he calling himself the least racist? I gotta get some MAGA on here to explain that, because I don't know what the term the least racist mean. That does indicate that it sounds like there is some racism in you. You're just suggesting that it may be less in you than other presidents. Least racist out of everybody, huh? Oh, wow, that's interesting. So we're going to talk about that. I'm finagling with something down here, but we're going to talk about that as well. That's called the lie, Tim says body snatcher. Well, the man says he's the least racist. So we got to take the man at his word, right? If he says he's the least racist we've ever had, unless you're suggesting that President Trump would go on Air Force One and on television and lie to the people of this great nation. You're not suggesting that, are you? You're not suggesting that President Trump will go on TV and tell a flat out lie, are you? Also, here's something I want to ask, because there are no shortage of folks indicating that Democrats can't take a joke. You already know what's on the screen where I'm going with this, but there are people who are suggesting that Democrats cannot take a joke. That's what the photo of Obama and Biden and all of those other folks as wild animals. Well, it was simply a joke. Democrats cannot take a joke.
I mean that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland, which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton.
It's incredibly difficult being a host.
Ryan's going to go out with a bang.
He is.
Trevor Noah targeting Donald Trump during his sixth and final time as Grammys host, and now the president is threatening legal action. The Daily Show alum slamming the commander-in-chief a total of 4 times throughout the 3.
So I'm not going to play any commentary, but what about that? If the Democrats cannot take a joke, why is he threatening to sue a comedian? Why is it not? I see in the comments, still not your mom. Love the name. Still not your mom. You say it's not okay. If Trevor Noah is not funny, that's fine. But why is President Trump, the one who is known for making jokes about other folks, suing comedians making jokes about him? Is this a case of I can dish it, but I cannot take it? Do want to hear from you folks. Now, he has not officially sued Trevor Noah. Let's just be clear. He has not officially done it. But he is publicly on record saying that he is considering doing it. This is the guy that is posting all sorts of awful jokes about others, and the right is saying that the Democrats are snowflakes and they cannot take a joke. So what's the difference here? Somebody let me know, because it's pretty clear that President Trump doesn't have much of a sense of humor himself, when the jokes are aimed at him. Somebody help me understand it. This one here, I do want to play another clip from Christie. And I know I got a lot of folks that are not fans of Christie among my beloved MAGA. Fair enough. We'll talk about that. But I do want to, he was on Bill Maher, as you can probably tell, anybody who watches Bill Maher, but he was on there. And here's another comment from him that I want to talk to you folks about, because once again, I don't understand this.
Again, deal in subtlety. The sign says the Donald J. Trump and John F. Kennedy Memorial Arts Center. I mean, I read the paper every day. I miss that.
So when he said I read the paper every day, I missed it. Why would Trump want to put his name on a memorial? I mean, he's talking about the Kennedy Center where Trump added his name, and you hear him clearly say the sign says the Trump and John JFK Memorial Center. What's the difference between putting your name on somebody's tombstone? A memorial is literally always dedicated to someone who has passed on. Why would President Trump, while alive, want to add his name to a memorial? I'm going to right off the bat ask, is he forecasting something which is great? You ever heard of the phrase, don't jinx yourself? Why would you want to put your name on a memorial? I mean, like, you alive. I mean, like, is he trying to indicate something that maybe we need to know? I mean, imagine your grandpa all of a sudden starts doing something. Like, are you about to leave us? Why would he do that? So we're going to talk about that. And somebody in the comments, still not your mom, says because he wants his name on everything. That ain't where you want to put your name at, though. I get it. There are plenty of places to put your name honorably. Why would you want to put your name on a memorial while you are still alive? Not to mention someone else's memorial that is already passed. And then just create your own. Why would you want to put your name on a dead man's memorial? Another president that was assassinated, I don't know how many, 60 plus years ago? Why would you want to put your name on his memorial? I don't get that. And I see in the comments, Samo Joe or something like you say, his ego. I don't see why your ego, that's crazy. That's a hell of an ego to want to put your name on somebody's memorial that's died. Trump lies like Chucky, says handsome evil fingers. I don't know. I get folks on the right that tell me Trump hasn't told a lie ever in his life. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking calls. And there's a lot more I want to talk to you about, because Obama's immigration policies have a lot of similarities to President Trump's immigration policies. I got a clip from Obama I'll play later, but I do want to hear from you folks as to why is Trump's immigration policies leading to Trump being treated like a villain and Obama was treated like some sort of a hero, when there are a lot of similarities between the immigration policies. Is Trump being treated unfairly in regards to immigration? So looking in the comments right off the bat, Toad says execution is key. True. That's probably the best answer on that. Border from Futurama has an episode of his followers building a giant statue of him. Remember me. Well, it does sound like he wants to be remembered in the most grandiose of style. Simple. One is a racist and the other. So you're saying, Mako, that the difference between Trump's immigration policies and Obama's, you say simple. One is a racist and the other is not. Wow. Let me go straight to the box, get the program rolling. Handsome Evil Finger says, Trump ain't shit. Says need to start shaking hands or have a big Congress meeting with the Grim Reaper and a bag of dicks. What the hell? Evil Fingers, you are crazy. Says Trump ain't shit, says he needs to start shaking hands or have a big Congress meeting with the Grim Reaper. Sound like you're trying to indicate the man may not be around very long. You got to let me know what you mean there. Let me go to the box. That's crazy. We'll start it out right off the bat with Jeremy. Good evening, Jeremy. Welcome to the program. Don't know what happened there. I tried to bring Jeremy up, and it doesn't look like it let him come up. We'll try it again. We'll go straight on to one of my subscribers there. Love to Cruise. Good evening, love to Cruz. Tim, that equal to reading your own will. Yeah, and it doesn't look right. Love to Cruz, good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I don't even know yet. We're starting the program off. Wanting to put your name on someone else's memorial. What say you?
Man, you're dealing with a sick individual who just wants to be a part of everything. So yeah, he's gonna put his name on memorial services, obituaries.
While alive?
While alive, ICU units, everything, man. He's a sick individual.
Well, what about the notion that maybe President Trump, who a lot of my beloved MAGA would suggest is the best president we've ever had, so perhaps he believes that his name is worthy to be posted in as many places as possible?
Well, you know what? I'm not going to argue with MAGA because they're going to find the excuse for everything. I've never seen a cult. Well, I haven't seen that many cults have been familiar with it, but for the fact that this man could do anything and they find an excuse for him is really starting to get sickening. And they don't see it.
I need you to elaborate. Give me something Trump has done where you believe they found an excuse. Maybe you think it makes no sense to defend him.
Look at the picture behind you.
Well,
they're finding excuses for that. He didn't do it. A staff member do it. How does a staff member have access to the president of the United States account?
Well, you would admit they all have assistants and things like that. I mean, look, if he says I need you to put down I got an appointment with Netanyahu on Saturday, he don't write that down. It's going to be one of his assistants, right?
So they're going to have access to put something like that on the social media account. Come on, Tim.
I mean, it's possible.
You sound like Mega Reacts. The president of the United States, he puts a video up there and he only looks at a minute of it instead of watching the whole video, or he only reads the top line. Come on, man, these are sick ass excuses.
Well,
we're common people. And I'm not gonna post a video unless I look at the video. Yeah. I'm not gonna post anything unless I read it fully. But you're talking about the president of the United States is doing this.
Well, I mean, the president of the United States did say himself personally that he didn't look at it. I mean, you're saying that MAGA makes excuses for him. I just played the clip. That's what Trump said himself, is he didn't look at the whole video. He saw himself as a lion. He liked that macho image, and he ran with it.
He's telling his dumbass supporters that so they can. It's like the Pied Piper. He blows his little flute, and all the damn rats follow him.
Wait a minute. You're not comparing MAGA to rats, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. They're voters.
No, you come on.
They're your neighbors. They're your neighbors, Leather Cruz. They're voters just like you.
I used to kind of tolerate them. And I'm not going to say, because I have ran across a couple of MAGA that, all right, you kind of borderline. But listening to your show, MAGA Reacts, Gen X, straight dumbass talking.
Oh my God!
Man, these are the dumbest motherfuckers that I ever heard.
Wait, you're hurting me, Ludacris. Don't tell me that my show has made you develop an adverse opinion of MAGA. Come on now.
No, it's them. It isn't your show. I'm not going to blame the automobile. I'm going to blame the drivers. They are the dumbest. And I used to disagree with Fancy Grandma, because I don't agree with her cussing you out. But I used to disagree with her cussing at MAGA and this. I'm ready to fall in her line.
But I gotta push back. You mentioned MAGA Reacts. In the comments, he says, what about the dumbass liberals?
Yeah, we're not making it. There are dumbass liberals, no doubt. But the fact that MAGA Reacts says, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna start writing all this shit he says.
I'm curious. What have you ever heard him say that's so dumb? But before you respond to that, Co-op Cooper says comedians tell the truth, politicians tell jokes. I don't know quite about that. I mean, comedians do tell some jokes, and sometimes politicians do tell the truth. I don't know if I'm totally agreeing with that, Co-op. Thank you for your support. What has MAGA React said that's so twisted?
Oh man, the latest one, the one that always sticks in my head. According to him, he's in Florida, and he said alligators don't attack humans.
Did he really say that?
He said that. Yeah, he said that. Crocodiles do, but alligators don't. And then just yesterday, he said that stupid shit about how many people. I watched the video with no sound on. What the fuck you watching the video for then?
Well, listen, I'm going to be honest with you.
Turn the video on. I want to hear the sound. When I'm,
I get what you're saying, but in defense of MAGA Reacts, which is what you're forcing me to
Don't
do,
do it, Tim.
I always gotta defend my MAGA just like I would defend liberals if I hear something. Listen, if you're watching social media platforms like Instagram and X, there are a lot of very interesting videos of the opposite sex that you don't need to listen to the actual sound. Particularly on Instagram, titties are everywhere. Do you really need to hear the sound if you're looking at titties?
We're not talking about that. That's totally different.
He said a video.
No. We talking about on social media. That's what he was talking about on social media.
Instagram is social media. Instagram is social media.
This ain't the silent movies, Charlie Chapman.
Well, okay. I mean, I get it, but he did say President Trump reposted that video, and he never listened to the audio. And by the way, when you see the photo above, do you really need? I mean, is there any audio required? I think they're playing The Lion Sleeps Tonight. I mean, you don't really need to hear the audio of that to post that. I mean, the video is still going to have the same negative meaning to a lot of folks, whether it has sound or not, right?
The man is so jealous of Obama, from winning the Nobel Peace Prize to everything that Obama stands for. He can't even touch Obama on speeches. That's reason my crowds are bigger than Obama. And then you're going to do this on Black History Month.
What are you suggesting, that Black History Month changes? Would it have been better if he had done this in the middle of April?
No, it's just a point, just him throwing more fuel on the fire. You don't like MLK birthday. Juneteenth, you're trying to get rid of it. Now you're going to post Obama's monkeys during Black History Month.
Yeah, and I got in the comment. Go ahead.
The thing about it, us as blacks, we need to start voting for one, because the politicians don't respect us because we don't vote.
You're saying wait, are you saying that politicians do not respect the African American community, so African Americans need to vote for black folks?
Exactly. Why, if you're a politician, why would you answer our issues if we're not voting? I would answer the issues of people that are voting and then put you on the back burner.
Yeah, but that don't mean you need to vote for black people. That just means blacks need to be more reliable to show up at the polls.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Tim. I'm not saying vote for black people. I'm saying blacks vote, period. Okay,
I don't disagree with that. I mean, you wouldn't expect a politician to be gung-ho to do things in favor of people that didn't show up to vote for him. I mean, that goes well before President Trump. Any politician, the people that voted for him and is going to keep him or her employed, they're going to do more for them. They're going to address their issues more.
Well, the reason I say that is because that picture behind you is a total asshole move, but it goes inside with his MAGA lovers. You know, they like to see this. This is right up their alley. I heard you say, yesterday I was listening, and what's his name? Handsome Conservative or Handsome? Is that his name? Handsome Conservative?
There's a bunch of handsome. There's Handsome Evil Fingers.
Well, he was on there yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't see what that's racist. You see there was a turtle on there.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man?
Well, wait a minute. That is correct. They had Kamala Harris. She was a turtle. Before you respond to that, Handsome Evil Finger, there's another one. Handsome Evil Finger says, Tim, tell your caller, man, he is on game. I got a case of Hennessy waiting for him. He is excellent. Big shout out. So there you go. There's one of the handsomes giving you nothing but that.
I appreciate that. Yeah. But I'm saying, okay, there was a turtle and he had Obama and them. But the point I'm making is handsome, what's the guy, handsome conservative, whatever. That isn't racist to him. The lady out there saying fight white power, that's what he considered racist. But this isn't racist. You know, it isn't, you know what? Like I said, we need to vote so they can stop disrespecting us.
But how about this? You often hear folks on the right, and thank you, Co-op Cooper, for your support. Appreciate that. How do you respond to folks who might suggest that, listen, it's the liberals, particularly African Americans, that really throw around the race card so damn much that we don't even give credit anymore when we hear a liberal or certainly somebody black talking about somebody on the right is racist? In other words, like what you're talking about, maybe it's just the Democrat Party is just overplaying the race card when all Trump was trying to do was tell a joke. That's what a lot of folks on the right are saying. What say you?
Well, to be honest, sometimes we do go to the race card a little bit too often. This is true. We go to the race card on some of the dumbest, Shadur Sanders. We went to the race card on that. So we as a people, we need to slow that down because it's like you're crying wolf all the damn time, you know, and then your argument loses a lot of its teeth because of the fact you're always saying it. It isn't like Jewish people. You can't mess with them. You can't mess with them. You mess with them, you're done. Yeah. Ask Kanye West, ask Kyrie Irving. You mess with them and say anything out in public, you're done. And that's what we need to get to. And the reason it's like that is because they go vote and they have infrastructure.
I think they certainly go and vote, but I think it's the fact that they have a lot of money and power that African Americans don't have. That has a lot to do with it.
We can get like that also. Instead of us hating on each other, we need to work together, pull together, and start voting, and not voting for dumb stuff because he's gonna give us a stimulus check.
But you know, so when you say we need to pull together, I agree with that 100%. But I think that's a problem that the African American community has that the, let's say, Jewish community does not, and that is the lack of unity. It's a lot easier to pull African Americans from the pile and make them fight against other. The Jewish community, it's a lot tougher to do that. You're not going to have, you know, the Jewish community on both sides of issues as strong. Like Black MAGA, I don't know if you would have, you know, I guess Jews for Adolf. I don't think you would have that. I mean, I don't.
No, you would.
Yeah, I think so. So the lack of unity in the Black community and the ease of being able to pick them off and get them on separate sides of an issue kind of make it so that it really does. I don't know if the Black community could ever be as strong or powerful or even united as the Jewish community.
You're right, and that's because we haven't had a leader since MLK. You know,
was Obama not a leader? The guy pictured here featured as a chimpanzee?
Obama, no, I'm talking about somebody strictly for us. Obama was the president, which means he had to look out for Americans. We need somebody like MLK. Jesse Jackson was supposed to step up, but next thing you know, he got the damn Rainbow Coalition. No, we need something for us, a leader for us that we can stand up and believe in, and for him to make sense, and he can go and talk for us and get things done.
Well, I'm shortening it up a little bit, trying to keep, you know, get as many colors on. But let me ask you before I let you go, just your solid opinion. Why did he post this?
They don't care.
No, I'm asking you. Why do you believe he posted that? Or who else? Why did this go on his account? Because he's suggesting he didn't do it. Why did this end up on Trump's account?
I think it was a slap in our face during Black History Month, and the fact that he don't care. And it's just to reinforce his MAGA people. MAGA has been kind of unwinding a little bit. Even you had a few callers that used to be MAGA.
Yeah, I was surprised.
So this is just a call to action for him. You know, hey, we're still racist. We still don't like them. You know,
we still racist. You think? What are you suggesting? That some MAGA were starting to stray because they didn't feel the racism strong enough or something?
Exactly.
Oh my God. What has Trump did other than this that makes you say he's racist? Because that's what people are going to want to know. They're going to say you're calling this guy racist for no damn reason at all. What else has he done to make you say that?
Okay, first let's look at his administration. You see any color in there?
Oh, Marco Rubio is Hispanic.
No. Come on, Tim, don't do that.
No, he really is Hispanic. Marco Rubio is a Hispanic. He's Cuban, of Cuban descent.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm saying real color, man. Come on.
What is the difference between, I get some black folks on here who say I'm not even fucking real color. So what is your definition of real color?
I'm talking about a brother, a sister, something like that.
Tulsi Gabbard is a minority. She's not white. Tulsi Gabbard.
Come on, man. And you know what? I understand your pushback.
I'm giving you real examples. You just not accepting them.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm talking about.
What do you want, Wesley Snipes? What are you looking for?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Oh
Wesley
my
Snipes,
God.
But like I said, we don't stick together. You got Nicki Minaj going over there, even though I think she's doing it for alternative reasons, to tell the truth, to get her husband and her brother out. But yeah, his administration, man, is not a reflection of the United States. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I definitely agree, Nicki Minaj. Because she's throwing away millions of dollars of career earnings. She's not going to be touring this. So she clearly is in it for something she really needs. Because she's throwing away millions of dollars.
DEI, Doge, all these things are geared after us. Doge, what is it, like 75% of the people that they fired were minorities, African Americans?
A lot of them were women. But the right is gonna say Doge was about finding waste, fraud, and abuse. Of a whole bunch of black women were in positions that were unnecessary. So be it. I gotta move it on though. Love the cruise. Appreciate you coming in, man. That's short, a little bit shorter, but thank you for coming through.
All right, thank you.
Moving on with wait a minute. Moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Get your boy likes on up. Get us on up to 30,000. We'll take the next caller there. Fired 300,000, says Toad. Yeah, they went on a firing spree. Here's what I didn't get, because the Trump administration was not happy about their job numbers. And I think he ended up either attempting to fire the person that reported him or actually doing it, or whatever the case may be. And we discussed it in lives at the time, and it was like, why would you be upset about the job numbers? Ever since you became the 47th president, you guys have been on a firing spree. There's no industry at all that's been hiring a lot of jobs since President Trump took office. Now, he's made a lot of deals, tariffs and things that he has suggested that are going to bring jobs back to America. Companies that, due to the tariffs, are going to open up manufacturing plants and things in America. But that's in the future. Since he's been president, it's just been a ton of people getting fired. So I never could understand why he was so critical of getting bad job numbers. Like, what did you expect? You fired a lot of people. So that didn't make sense to me. And it still doesn't make sense to me. It's as if he expects to have good job numbers right now. Like, there's no industry out there right now that has created a ton of jobs since you've been in office. But there are places where they've fired a bunch of people. But like I said, he has 3 more years left. Who knows how many jobs may end up being created? It just hasn't happened yet. Looking in the comments, did you really say black women had too many jobs? No, I'm saying that is the belief that through the firings of Doge, and I don't buy all of the information given by Elon Musk at Doge, because a lot of it turned out to be false or exaggerated. So the waste, fraud, and abuse he was pointing to, which led to the firing or termination of a lot of African-American women, they were suggesting those jobs were either redundant or, the person working was not productive, or various reasons. I don't believe those reasons turned out to be valid. So no, I'm not saying that black women had jobs that that were useless. I'm saying that's what we were told. By the way, folks, tap the screen. Certainly if you're watching on YouTube, I need you guys to do me a favor, smash that like button. If you're watching on TikTok, get us on up to 30,000. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 30,000. It helps out the algorithm. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body on this program. We're MAGA friendly. We let liberals speak as well. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. If you favor open dialogue from all sides of the aisle with zero censorship, Do your boy a favor, follow the program if you're watching on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack. We're live on Substack now. And if you're watching on YouTube, give us a sub. We're here most weekdays. Handsome conservative. Flag on the play. This man needs to be shown tail lights and tailpipes. You got to explain that. Tail lights, so it needs to be, that's the back of the vehicle. What do you suggest? Somebody needs to be ran over? Explain that. Tail lights and tailpipes. I don't quite get that. We love Trump, says Billy England. Fair enough. Very little brown or women, and that's in the Trump administration. Yeah, look, we can certainly discuss. I don't know why this go round, President Trump, all of the talent he found is white. Overwhelmingly, I mean, like I mentioned Tulsi Gabbard, I mentioned Marco Rubio, but as my last caller said, it kind of is what it is. But I mean, yeah, his whole administration is white. I mean, is that done out of racism, or is that because that's where the talent is for him? That maybe that's the listen. He's looking for conservative leaning administrators. That could have something to do with it. Now we can ask, why didn't Byron Donalds or Tim Scott get any appointment at all? They've been very loyal to President Trump. Perhaps Larry Elders or somebody. I mean, they've been very loyal to him. Nobody got an appointment with the exception of, I guess, Tulsi Gabbard, if you will. But anyway, let's go back to the show. I mean, you got to give them credit. It's still more diverse than his last administration. I don't know if it is. Didn't he have an African-American Surgeon General, if I'm correct? I know Ben Carson was there. Ben Carson, when my last caller was talking about a black man, Ben Carson fits that description as opposed to Tulsi Gabbard or Mark or Rubio. So I don't know. Was it less diverse on his first administration? I don't know. No call-in number on TikTok either. No, we don't. If you go on TikTok, you just request. Just like if you go on Substack, we take. And by the way, we're on Instagram as the handsome liberal across all platforms. TikTok, the call-in platforms are TikTok, Substack, and Instagram. Let me go back to the box and take in another caller. I hope you guys get me up to 30 foul. Certainly do that. We'll make it happen. We'll try it with MAGA Reacts. MAGA Reacts. Now you got called out earlier. Good evening.
Well, you keep fucking up what I'm saying. The audio thing had to do with the golf carts. It didn't have to do with the Lion King video.
Okay, so you're saying that the golf cart video is the one where somebody's yelling white power at the end of Trump's video, and you're saying that
one you didn't listen to.
So I guess if you make that mistake with that video, why would you post another video that you not? Why after you make this one screw up, why would you not either yourself or via your staff? I need you to make sure you view videos and listen to them in their entirety before you post them. Why wouldn't you correct that after the white power video?
Because that video is like, what, 20 years ago at this point? At least it feels like 20 years. I know it's probably only been like 7.
It's from his first term, so it is some years ago.
Yeah. I mean, like you swear like they had to listen to the audio to post this. It's a fucking video with golf carts. What else do you need to know about the video? Yeah. It's like a boat parade. You really need to listen to the audio of a boat parade? There's just a bunch of boats having a parade.
Well, you know
it. Golf carts having a parade.
Well, you know from
white power in it.
Yeah, you know from yesterday. I asked the audience, have you ever reposted a video that you never even listened to the audio? I'm just going to tell you myself flat out. If I'm going to repost something, I know what I'm reposting. The idea that you would just see something where people, and by the way, when you look at the video, you can clearly see people are trying to talk to each other. So why would you not listen to what they say? And I mean, and you can see that the guys who are talking to each other have angry expressions on their face. So why would you not listen to what they have to say before you just post it?
But what are the odds some guy in a golf cart yells white power like that? Like,
I get it, but what are the odds that a president would post videos that he hasn't watched entirely or listened to? I think the odds of that are even less.
Well, he just said that's what he did. I mean, I called it, and then the next day, he just fucking said the same exact thing I said. You think he watched our video, and he's like, oh, that's a good excuse? Let me use it.
Well, my opinion is what Trump posted is in the realm of so indefensible where there is no, you just got to throw out whatever you can and hope the chips fall where they may. So if you got to say you didn't listen or didn't watch it, I mean, because what he posted really is indefensible. I mean, like you said, if you watch the whole video and you see them on there as monkeys, yeah, I mean, because he mentioned that it's some kind of a Lion King tribute or something. But as many folks point out, there were no apes or monkeys in the Lion King, so that did not hold water.
Had a chimp. They had a chimp in there, so one of the main characters.
They got her as an ape. There was no apes in the Lion King.
I got you, but they had the chimps and all kinds of other monkeys in there.
Yeah. Well, the point I'm making is this does not fit the narrative of the Lion King, and I think that he gave that reason, the Lion King. The other reason was a staffer did it. The other reason is I didn't watch the video. At the very least, whether you want to say it's racist or it's not racist, how irresponsible.
No, it's racist. That's the other thing. I wasn't defending it. It's straight up racist and it's stupid. But I don't think he fucking knew that was there at the end. I don't think he gave they redid the video and they moved the monkey part to the beginning of it and reposted it. Like a bunch of people did that already because the monkey part comes so far at the end. Most people didn't watch enough of the video to see it.
So you do believe this is racist, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's definitely racist. I never said it wasn't racist.
So if it's whether it's posted by Trump or staff or so at the very least, either Trump is a racist or if he didn't put so somebody working for him at the very least is racist then, right?
I mean, I'm hoping whoever posted, just like I told you, just didn't watch the thing to the end. It's a fucking Lion King video. Like,
so now you got not only President Trump.
I mean, it has fucking Joe Biden as a monkey.
So now you're suggesting that perhaps he has a staffer that's working for him that's posting stuff without watching it all the way through.
Yeah. I mean, I think he did it, but
yeah,
if it was a staffer, same shit.
So you believe
who watches that all the way at the end? It's a stupid monkey video.
I
mean, he shouldn't have reposted in the first place, but if I was watching that and I didn't know that at the end Obama shows up as a monkey, I would have stopped it halfway through. And that would have been it. I wouldn't have watched the video.
I guess
would you watch something like that to the end? If you didn't know what it was, would you watch that to the end?
I'm not gonna post anything to my account that I haven't seen completely. You can talk about you can talk about the viewers. Different viewers are going, when I post videos, YouTube will give me algorithm, give me my analysis, how many minutes or seconds people are watching on average. It's different per person. But the actual person posting it, you should watch 100% and listen to 100% of what you post.
Well, you should, but most people don't. And if they say they do, they're fucking liars.
You think most people repost videos that they haven't listened to entirely?
Fuck yeah. I mean, why do we have an edit button? Why do we have an erase button? If everyone is so perfect,
what do you edit if you haven't listened?
Why do we have edit and erase buttons?
If you haven't,
why is there an eraser on the pencil?
If you haven't listened to the video entirely or watch, what are you editing out? How do you know how to edit it if you ain't heard it all? What are you editing out?
Because after you post it, you're bored and you watch it, or somebody tells you, "Did you know what you just posted?" And then you watch it. Then, I mean, people make mistakes all the time. What you're saying is everybody's perfect and they never make mistakes and they always listen to the video and inspect it and know the meaning of everything. And you're telling me everybody's perfect. I'm telling you, if everybody's perfect, you're either stupid or a liar.
No, I don't.
Most of us are dumb and not perfect.
I'm not saying that everybody's perfect. You can do a bad editing job. Let's say, for instance, I see a video in the last 10 seconds of it I don't want to post. And I edit it and I make a mistake and only taking out the last 9 seconds of it. So I made a mistake when it should be. That's the kind. But not listening to a video in its entirety. I just don't. Because if you're going to edit it, you need to know what you're editing out. How can you edit out something you ain't even heard?
Well, it's the opposite. I've uploaded a bunch of shit where I didn't watch it one last time. And it turns out there was like shit at the end that I was supposed to erase and I forgot to erase it. And I uploaded it with that. And then I edited it and erased the shit that I forgot to erase at the end.
Yeah.
So I've done that literally like 2 days ago. Like right before this video came out, I uploaded a video and then there was like 10 seconds in the end. I forgot to erase. And obviously I didn't listen to it or watch it one last time. and I made a mistake and uploaded the video with the extra 10 seconds. And like maybe like the next day I saw it and I fucking erased the 10 seconds at the end.
Well,
Here's the difference. All the time. Unless everybody's perfect, they should shut the fuck up.
No, here's the difference though. If you're in a position of leadership or power, you can't do the kind of you and I, you even with the few followers I got, I got a few 100,000 followers on each program. I'm not gonna do that kind of, I mean, I could, if I fuck up like that, I can cut my subscribers and viewers in half doing something stupid like that. I mean, so hold on. If you got something on the line, you don't do dumb shit like that. I mean, and as a president,
it is dumb.
Yeah.
It is dumb, but people make mistakes.
That it ain't a mistake. At some point, some things you cannot attribute to a mistake. It's more like incompetence. You can't do that when you're in a position of leadership.
I agree with you there too. It is incompetence. It is stupid, but still a mistake.
Yeah. Well, to me, you're not making him look any better. You're basically saying either he's a racist or he's incompetent. I don't think either one of those options are good.
I'm saying he's most likely. I mean, yeah, I'm saying he's not a racist. He is incompetent, stupid. I'm saying all those other things. Like, you guys swear like I'm always defending him, but no. I mean, I didn't vote for him because he's fucking, perfect. I voted for him because he has better common sense than most politicians.
You really gonna say the man has common sense with what you
best?
You really gonna say the man has common sense with what you just described as what likely happened? That's got to be at the bottom of the scale on having common sense. This is a very
to make you perfect.
This ain't got nothing to do with perfect. This is a self-inflicted wound that, I mean, this is like, I don't know, walking into a fucking, sticking your head in the dryer and saying I made a mistake because I got injured. Like, how could you not know this might injure you? How could you do something like something this is a mistake that is so easily avoidable. It's, this is incredible that you even, listen, I'm going to be clear with you. I don't believe that it went down the way you think it went down, where he didn't listen to it.
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
One time, this one I believe him.
You believe he didn't listen to it, or you, what?
I believe he didn't watch it to the end. I don't think he watched it to the end.
So
it's a stupid video. Like, you really would like. If I didn't know Obama was the end as a monkey, I would have just watched the first 10 seconds. I was like, all right, he's being narcissist. There's a lion in it. That's why he posted it, because of the lion.
So let me ask you this, then.
The video right there.
With you being MAGA yourself, voting for him, favoring him, while also admitting it's racist, do you believe he should apologize?
I believe he should, yes.
And if he doesn't, what does that say about him?
That he never apologizes, and it's another dumbass fucking thing of his that he always does. I wish he would stop doing that and just apologize.
Yeah. And I'm asking because you talked about common sense. I mean, these wounds are so easily avoidable that I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't sound like a lot of common sense to me. A simple apology or watching your own videos, this stuff is so easily avoidable that anybody that would do the opposite seems like a person that lacks common sense.
I kind of agree with you, kind of don't. It's just not important. I mean, it can be important, but it's not important.
As much as I heard the right talking about vote for me or you ain't black, it's amazing that he could post something like this and it's suddenly not important. I mean, folks are bringing up the crime bill from 30 years ago, but he posted something like this yesterday and within 24 hours, it's not that important.
There's a difference, Tim. The crime bill took a year of fucking writing and reviewing, and 100 people fucking agreed on it, and we had a vote on it. That's a lot of work. Reposting is one little click. You press a button, maybe two buttons, and you reposted a video that you thought was cool.
Yeah, but you gave it, we're talking less than 24 hours later. You're already saying it's not important. I get it's a bill that took a year, but you didn't even get his 24 hours and you're talking about it's not important.
It took 2 seconds to repost the video, Tim. It's not like he sat there and thought about it. And he was like, it's not like he had 100 people review the video and then post it. Like, they reviewed the crime bill. You suck at analogies, man.
But you did say in the beginning, despite the reasons he given you, you made it clear you believe he is lying. You believe he did this.
What do you mean? I believe he did it. I don't think he ever said a staffer did it. I think other people said it was a staffer.
No, he did say a staffer did it. He said, and that's another thing.
I think Carolina, whatever her name is, said it was a staffer. Somebody else said it was a staffer. In his video, he said I just didn't watch it to the end. And he said it started out fine, which we can agree on that, right? It started out fine for Trump.
I don't think, for Trump. I don't, look, what is the purpose of posting, people who, like Kamala Harris is not a politician. Obama rarely says anything about Trump. Does he have, liberal derangements?
He wants a video showing that he's the king of the jungle and he's the fucking lion.
Yeah, but come on now, MAGA. This ain't the only time he talks about these people. Why is he still talking about people? Wait, hold on. Why is he still talking about people that ain't saying shit about him? Obama ain't in the news talking about him.
He probably didn't even know Obama was in the video. Like, that's the whole point. He didn't watch it to the end. He had no idea Obama was in it. He saw that he was in it, and it shows him in a good light, and he reposted. You ever watch those, there was an old interview with this, famous actor, the butler in the Dark Knight Rises, whatever his name is, that famous British actor. He's like, I look at a script, I look at, if I'm on the first page, if I have a lot of lines, and if I do, I fucking say yes to the script, just because the script, he's all over the script, and, he's getting, it's just, as long as he's in it, that's all he cares about. He doesn't care what's the content of the script,
listen, he talks about Obama a lot. MAGA, he talks about Obama a lot. This is not the only. Why is Obama's name coming up so often with Trump when Obama's not saying anything about him at all?
Obama was one of the best presidents we had, as charisma wise, and you always want to compare yourself with the best.
No, he's insulting the hell out of me, comparing himself. He's saying awful things about him.
He's saying he's doing things right, where Obama. I mean, for us, for a lot of people on the left, including myself, I think Obama was. There's a difference. He's a great president as far as charisma, as far as speech, as far as the person. I think his policies suck dick. But I understand you don't. Yeah, I understand you don't favor. What I'm trying to figure out, why the infinite discussion on Obama? At some point, Obama's been gone since 2016, so it's 10 years now. He's the president right before him.
Okay, so what is he?
He's the only other modern president
it's 10 years.
My lifetime. It's Obama and Biden. Other than that, you can't compare yourself to Bush, because that's a different generation.
10 years ago, MAGA. I mean, so what did we say? Because Obama was the president before him, that means that he's going to be talking about Obama until 2028?
If he's still president, probably, yeah. So that's what you compare yourself to.
Forever?
The Super Bowl winner, they're going to compare themselves to the year before.
I don't recall any other president doing that. The whole term, I'm going to, listen, I don't recall Obama talking about George Bush for all 8 years, or Clinton talking about HW I've never seen it, but you're defending something I've never seen before.
It's because all the shit's new. We never had this much media. We never had the president on
TV. When the president speaks he's on world stages talking about Obama. You got media coverage when you were the other presidents in those positions. That ain't new to Trump.
Not like today, Tim. Not like today.
So you're saying all presidents were talking about their predecessor like Trump?
I think in the future they all will.
No. I'm saying, what about the ones in the past? Were they all talking about their predecessors like Trump does?
They didn't have to, because they were forgotten. There wasn't as much presence. There wasn't as much old videos of them. They didn't linger around.
So you're saying when Obama became when you said when Obama became president, all 8 years of Bush was forgotten?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Because there wasn't that much recorded. There's
a whole war recorded. What are you talking about?
Wasn't so, Tim? Not like today.
The whole weapons of mass destruction.
Videos from the battles before the president does sometimes.
All the footage that still currently exists of George W. Bush, none of that was recorded for you, huh?
It was, but it wasn't like today. Today, everything is recorded. And Bill Clinton, there was hardly any videos. And before him, George Bush Sr., there's barely any videos.
I'm talking about strictly looking at Obama and George W. Bush. There is a ton of shit covering George W. Bush, yet Obama did not continue to bash Bush the way Trump bashes all his people. Because you're telling me...
I bet you if I go back, he did. I just don't remember it.
Posting cartoons and shit of him? I mean, you do realize Obama had access to the internet, right?
Cartoons back then, Tim.
What?
There was no AI making cartoons like they are today.
That ain't you could make all sorts of draw. If you wanted to do what Trump is doing to Obama and his adversaries, you could have done all of this during the Obama administration.
Not by pressing 2 buttons. That's all Trump did. He pressed 2 buttons. Not even. He pressed 2 buttons. 1 button to repost and 1 button to hit OK. That's all he did.
So, and all of the negative comments on the world stage, all of that too. What does that amount to?
That's different. I mean, we're talking about like, I don't know.
Let me ask it to you this way.
This is like something that's hard to explain.
Well, explain this to me. What is your definition of derangement syndrome?
I don't know. Derangement is when you blame things on someone that's not their fault. That has nothing to do with them.
Okay. Do you think Trump has any? Do you think Trump has that at all?
I mean, a lot of what he blames has shit to do with them because they were the most recent presidents. We still have Obamacare. It's not like Obamacare is gone. So there's still things lingering that Biden and Obama did. So
you're not
really.
So you don't think Trump has a? So in other words,
unless you believe that Trump erased everything Biden and Obama did, then it's not derangement syndrome.
Well, I was told derangement syndrome is when somebody is living rent-free in your head and you just can't fucking stop talking about them. Yeah, if Obama did something wrong, you don't like it, that's one thing. But if you mention it 1,000 times, at some point it starts sounding deranged. If you're 10, 12 years after he did it, you still are mentioning it over and over, like the 2020 election, for instance. Like the 2020 election, for instance. Still mentioning that. How many years has it been? 6 years now. So I guess we're going to be hearing about that all the way to 20. At some point, it becomes derangement syndrome. You don't agree with that?
That was 4 years ago, Tim. That was just 4 years ago. You act like
the 2020. Wait.
20 or 30 years ago, I would agree with you.
The 20. Hold on. You're telling me the 2020 election was 4 years ago. What year is it where you are?
Sorry, 5 years ago.
What year is it where you are?
It's 2026. It's the beginning of 2026. I guess you could say it may be 6 years ago, but it's really 5 because it's just the beginning of 2026.
So he's mentioning it over and over again every time he gets on the world stage. 5 years later, is that derangement syndrome? I mean, he has to have mentioned the 2020 election.
If he's still doing it in 20 years, then it's derangement syndrome.
So how long must he do it?
If he was talking about what's his name, like Reagan or the other guy, Carter. If he was up there talking about Carter every day, it would be derangement syndrome because what does Carter have to do with Trump?
So how long must he talk about the 2020 election, in your opinion, before it becomes derangement syndrome?
Until we finally know everything there is to know about it.
And what if we never get that? How long?
I'll give him another 4 years. If he's still doing it in like 10 years.
All right.
Still doing it by what, 2030?
Okay, all right. I gotta move it on.
It was the last one before the one we just finished.
We'll give him
you're talking about it like he's talking about an election from the 1980s. This was the previous election.
We'll give him another 4 years.
It's still like the biggest election we ever had.
No, it's not. I gotta go. I will give him another 4 years. Okay, moving on with the program. Look, everybody has a different opinion of what derangement syndrome is. I totally disagree with that. I mean, Trump has already probably mentioned the 2020 election over 1,000 times publicly. In another 4 years, I mean, like every time he's on the world stage or on TV, he's bringing that up. He gets 4 more years of that before it becomes he may be dead by then. I mean, I think it's funny. I think it's funny, but he has a difference of opinion. Looking in the comments, until people admit it was stolen, ain't nobody going to admit anything, Kelly, without the evidence. If you just want for us to be in a position where Trump can say something and people just buy it as fact, perhaps my beloved MAGA believes that. I get it. But for other folks, they're going to want evidence. Trump has not provided ample proof that the election was stolen. So no, they're not going to believe it based on what he's just saying. And by the way, there are way too many prominent Republicans, many of them that were part of his own administration, that say he lost. So we supposed to ignore all of them people and just believe him? And he's not providing any proof? Good luck with that. Handsome Evil Fingers. Sounds like the work of Stephen Miller. He's all over Trump's ass. He's all over Trump, has eaten ass and everything else. Corporate, that's where you want to point the finger. He's talking about my last guest. Handsome evil fingers, good at it. Thank you, by the way. Jermaine says, why MAGA always making excuses for a grown-ass man? Well, a lot of people favor Trump, so you're going to kind of get that. By the way, folks, uncensored dialogue from outside Sunny Owl. If you favor this, feel free to follow the program. Need you guys to tap that like button. Certainly for my YouTube audience, it helps out the algorithm. Give your boy a sub if you like uncensored programming. MAGA friendly, liberals are welcome as well. You can be critical of anyone, including the host, but certainly need you guys on YouTube. Tap that like button. We got about 1,000 of you folks in here. We'll continue on. Thank you, Miss Mo Better. Real quick before we move on and get the likes on up to 50,000. 50, F-I-D-D-Y, for you TikTok followers going back to the box. We'll let you follow up MAGA Reacts. Miss Mo Better, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Tim.
Hey.
Hold on. I turn my camera on because I want y'all to know this is not AI.
I like it. So,
making another hat, Tim. Send me your P.O. box and I'll make you one.
Oh, really? You knitting the MAGA hat?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be red.
That sounded so cute.
you gotta knit one that's red. You're knitting the MAGA hat.
I need to knit one and put some sense in that motherfucker for.
Oh my God.
Shit.
So I'm gonna ask you, what is the purpose of posting this? What do you think he meant? What do you think he wanted the audience to?
You know what he did, Tim? Because the midterms are coming up. He know these numbers is all fucked up. His whole campaign was ran on hate. So now he has to continue. He got to continue that narrative, hoping that it works for the midterm.
His whole campaign is ran on hate. Wait, what about?
He ran on hate and division.
Wait a minute, I gotta push back. And by the way, for you folks watching, help your boy out with the TikTok cap go hat mustache. Thank you, folks in the
band.
band.
Tap the screen, y'all. Tap the screen.
And tap the goddamn yes. Help the program out. Tap the goddamn screen. But let me ask you: you're saying his campaign was ran on hate. All of them black MAGA, all of the Hispanics that supported Trump. What are you talking about? He did better.
They hate too. You know what they did? So they started the lies with when it came to Kamala about what she did as a prosecutor. Oh, she locked up all of these black men and she withheld evidence and all kinds of stuff. First of all, it was a whole lie. None of them took the time to go to research anything from back when she was attorney general or prosecutor in her district.
Yeah, but they also
They were looking like, well, maybe she should have turned a blind eye to what they were doing.
But Ms. Mobetta, they said all kinds of negative things about Biden locking up black men, and Biden still got the vote. So what? Something about Kamala Harris, because they were able to say this stuff about Kamala Harris, and suddenly blacks voted for Trump.
Misogyny and racism, Tim. I don't know what it is. I don't know how else to put it to you. It's misogyny, xenophobia. All of that stuff is why she lost. Because those are all of the people that were actually supporting her. She had a lot of the LGBTQ on her board and her camp. You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of you already know.
There were LGBTQ for Trump as well, though.
They the slow ones.
Maybe Trump was just offering more favorable stuff. You sure it's people being slow? Maybe Trump just had a better campaign.
Yeah, they're lying. See, when it comes to those to the black people that actually supported Trump, this is the thing. When we had Obama up there as president, right? What they expected him to do was say, "This is going to be for black people and black people only." That's not how that works.
Who expected Obama to say that?
The black folks that are MAGA. That's what they expected. Oh, well, y'all living on a plantation. He could.
So I want you to tell me.
In God's green earth, there's no way that Obama could have got up there and said that anything was for anybody strictly black.
No, I agree with that. But what I want you to tell me is why, if Trump is so bad as you're indicating, why all of these minority groups, I mentioned LGBTQ, I mentioned Black MAGA, we know Venezuelans, we know Cubans. Many of them actually gave Trump more support than they did the black woman. And he actually did better with minority groups than Kamala Harris did. And Biden did better than Kamala Harris as well. You sure that
it's still, the story still remains the same.
All of them groups are misogynist.
It still remains the same, Tim. The story doesn't change of why they did it.
You sure that Kamala Harris was just not a bad candidate?
She was not a bad candidate. It was bad timing. It was bad timing.
You're a black woman. You're a black woman and you're losing black votes?
I'm sorry?
She's a black woman and she's even losing black votes compared to Biden?
Black votes are black men. And when it comes to the Hispanics not supporting her, they don't feel Hispanics are white passing when it over here in these states. I don't know how many of you personally dealt with. A lot of them are white passing, and they didn't think that. For the life of me, I don't know what made them think that Trump would have had a better way for them than Kamala. Again, they weren't reading either. Yeah. They didn't go. They regurgitated everything they heard from Trump. They didn't go to her page to read nothing. They kept saying, "Oh, she's not doing interviews." How do you know she's not doing interviews with your head so far up Trump's ass?
But maybe
they didn't fucking listen, Tim.
But maybe what you're saying illustrates the problem that Kamala has. You're saying that they were regurgitating things from Trump. Why didn't Kamala Harris give them any damn thing to regurgitate? Trump was out there talking to the people. Kamala Harris was not. You just missed
my whole last sentence when I said they wasn't fucking listening. She was giving them stuff to where people can afford to buy homes and shit like that. We wouldn't have been struggling with health care.
Yeah, but I hear Kamala Harris.
Not even just that, Tim. She did a lot of things specifically for black people. Like the Black MAGA Act and shit like that would protect women, black women that inherently lose their lives during childbirth and shit like that. That stuff was protected. They was not listening, Tim.
Well, I'm going to tell you a lot of what she was promising came after, like the no tax on tips. She took that from Trump. He offered that, and it was doing well, and then she decided to take it from him.
So?
That's a bad candidate. Why you didn't come up with it first? Why you biting off of him?
Maybe she did come up with it first. Who knows? He could have listened to her somewhere else and took it from her. Who knows, Tim?
Well, we heard him publicly on the national stage saying
publicly saying a lot of shit. But that one little thing, again, if that was the one little thing that canceled her as a candidate, then I feel sorry for y'all who believe different.
Well, the point I'm making is President Trump got out there more often. Now, I'm not saying he's met all his promises. In fact, domestically, I think he hasn't provided any of the stuff he said. But
he fucked his whole package up.
Well, but people ask what, and I understand. Even though I may have not voted for Trump, I understand why he promised a lot of good shit, and I don't think Kamala Harris was doing it as well.
I get it, and see, the thing is, a lot of the stuff that affects black and brown people, the people that actually are really cheering for him, they're not threatened by any of this stuff. So of course they saying he's doing a good job, Tim.
What do you mean? What is he?
And this is why when they always say, why does race come in? Because race is a factor. When it comes to black and brown people, how many non-black and brown people, Caucasian people is he going after? Other than the American citizens that are being unalived for trying to protect the black and brown people.
I get what you're saying. There's certainly far more black and brown people being deported, et cetera, et cetera. But how do you respond to folks who might suggest the reason there's more black and brown people being deported is because there's a hell of a lot more black and brown people in the country illegally?
How do you know? Everybody else blends in. They're not just stopping them because they look Caucasian. But they could stop a black and brown person and say, oh, because you speak another language or your skin is darker. So I have to question whether you're here legally or not.
You don't think a Ukrainian that's white would not? I mean, you said how are black and brown people blended in? I mean, there's plenty. If all of these white folks are coming, you're coming from Poland or somewhere, you would have an accent or be speaking a foreign language. He
wants those people here. He said that himself the other day.
Poland?
Poland? Trump? Yeah. He said, "Oh, we want the why can't people come in from Greenland?" And he started naming Norway, places where you could probably count the amount of black people on one hand.
Yeah, he has talked about why can't people from.
He just said it the other day.
What do you think he's trying to do? Turn America white or something?
Of course, he is. And listen, and I know. Listen, he loves money more than he even loves white people. I'm just gonna put that out there. And the one thing he got right about that video when they said Lion King, he spelled it wrong. It's Lion King.
What?
Lying.
Are you trying to indicate that our commander in chief is somewhat dishonest or something?
They only proved it 35,000 times.
Well, and that's what I was telling.
He got rid of fact checking.
Yeah, that's what.
Why do you think he got rid of stuff like fact checking and stuff like that? Why do you think that happened?
Well, and that's what I was kind of telling MAGA Reactions, that because he talks so often, if he does say something that's not true, because he says it over and over, like with the election, when you say he's told tens of thousands of lies, probably 20 election statements he's made, because he repeats it so often, then yeah, that's gonna be hundreds of lies.
They're gonna believe it. They're gonna fall for it, and that's why when they say he's like the Pied Piper. I've been saying that since I've been coming on your show. I've been calling him the Pied Piper.
Yeah, but what I mean is, if you say you want, let's say for instance, he says I actually won Minnesota, which is a statement he actually did say. He said he won Minnesota in 2020. There's no evidence of that. That's going to be deemed as a lie because he can't prove it. And then he goes from city to city to city, rally to rally, saying he won Minnesota. Each one of those is going to be chalked up as a lie. So that one statement, I won Minnesota, could turn into 200 lies. So when you
tell it 200 times, you make it 200 lies. Just like his 34 counts, his 34 convictions. Well, you understand? So, again, he's going to keep saying it because he knows they're buying it. I'm going to keep saying it because they're buying it. This is what works for me. But with this video here, it turned a lot of people, even that support him, against him. Well, not completely, but for the act itself, for them, seeing that like, he kind of went too far, and he's a piece of shit. What do you expect?
Why would you say that? He's the president. Give the man respect. He's our president.
Listen, you keep saying he's the president of the United States. Maybe somebody needs to tell him that. He thinks he only thinks he's president of MAGA. Everybody else he don't give a fuck about.
Well, I suppose I can't really push back on that. I want you to hear something though, because you're mentioning minorities. President Trump has a different take than you.
They say the fact is that I've done more for the black community than any president since Abraham Lincoln. I say it. Nobody can dispute it. Nobody can dispute it. It's true.
Just for folks who didn't hear that.
I say the fact is that I've done more for the black community than any president since Abraham Lincoln. I say it. Nobody can dispute it. Nobody can dispute.
Nobody can dispute that. And the Straight Talk Commerce is in the comments even saying facts.
And listen, and the reason I just want him to prove that. Prove it. He doesn't have to come up with numbers. You know why? Because he fired the person that was giving numbers. He fired them too. And straight talk. I know what happened. It doesn't matter whether it's one conviction, 34 conviction. He got 34 felonies. You count them. Now listen, I got time. I'm here in the NY. We snowed in, so I have time today.
Well, listen, like I said, I'm gonna straight talk to him to come up here and explain it. But the man does say he's done a lot for blacks, and I get a lot of black MAGA that agrees with him.
He never heard Trump lie. I guess he never heard them say that the Haitians was eating dogs and cats, and that black folks when he posted he said that he didn't post that video.
Well, I've had folks send me copies of what they suggest were Haitians eating cats. I mean, I haven't seen solid evidence of it, but a lot of MAGA believes that he has been proven that Haitian migrants in Ohio were eating cats and dogs.
Listen, if they are, that's their business. But that was a lie.
I got mentioned.
I can't attest what anybody got on their dinner table.
You mentioned.
And I'm not. If you ain't feeding me, fucking me, or financing me, I ain't give a fuck what goes on in my house anyway. Mind your goddamn business.
Oh my God! You mentioned MAGA reacts. In the comments, he says President Trump actually has 0 felonies because he was never sentenced.
And that's just how much he knows about. So what? You got plenty of people that was convicted and did not go to jail. That's not how that works, stupid. Go somewhere goofy. Go find you a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Oh my God. Go find you a girlfriend. I want you to hear something.
It's so fucking goofy. It's annoying.
Well, and I would agree, though.
I know that's your boy, though. I know that's your boy.
The MAGA reacts as a friend. MAGA's a friend of the program, just like liberals are. We believe in giving free speech to everybody. But I want you to hear something. Some folks heard this in the monologue, but this is something Chris Christie stated on Bill Maher this week, and I want you to hear this.
The sign says the Donald J. Trump and John F. Kennedy Memorial Arts Center.
I don't cue up the wrong spot. I want you to hear this though, because I think it's noteworthy. A guest over here asked Chris Christie a question. Now, Chris Christie used to be in pretty well with the Republican Party.
I know what sentencing is. I also know what conviction is too.
All right,
Shut your dumb ass up.
Well, I want you to hear this.
Say to each other when we're not listening. So I want to know, what do Republicans say to each other when we're not listening about what's happening in America right now?
Look, so many of my fellow party members, especially come up to me because I say all this stuff out loud, and they in the green room at ABC, listen, you're so brave. That's so great. I totally agree with you. He's nuts. And then they go out on camera to be interviewed. They are the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln. And then they come back in the green room and they say to me, I have to do that, but I don't really mean it. That's what they say.
Like who specifically?
All right, Bill. Overtime's not long enough to give you all the names, but I'll give you one. Lindsey Graham.
Do you believe that's happening behind the scenes? The Republicans, because they're telling. Hold on, but they're telling us, MAGA, my beloved MAGA, that President Trump is the best president America's ever seen, certainly in our lifetime. Do you believe they actually have a different viewpoint of him behind the scenes?
Yeah, they don't like. A lot of them don't like his ass, but they scared of him because they fear Trump. They don't really respect him. They don't even like him. They fear him.
Explain why. Why would they be fearful?
Because he showed that he doesn't care about the guardrails. He doesn't care about the law. He doesn't have it's no order with him. So what would make them exempt from him firing them or suing them and shit like that? They fear him. Some people are afraid to sacrifice their lifestyles.
Okay.
In their position.
And see, this is what I don't understand. If you do fear President Trump, but you're a politician that's supposed to be working on behalf of the people, then why not take the route of Marjorie Taylor Greene or Liz Cheney or Adam Kinzinger and just, I got to respectfully step down?
Her is, she stretched her shit out until she solidified her pension, which was 5 years. And don't kid yourself, she might be mad at him now, but he made her ass rich too before she left there.
Yeah. Well, she was pretty, in regards to her stretching it out to get her pension, she was pretty damn close to the finish line when her and Trump started having trouble. She was only probably less than a month.
I know. I get it, because if she was that serious, she was like, I'm walking out of this bitch today. You know what I'm saying? But she's like, nah, I'm right here. I'm a fight it out. I'm not gonna run and all of that stuff. I'm at my 5 years and then I have my pension, so you could do whatever. And now she talks hella shit about her. But you can't fuck with people like that, because you knew he was doing this shit when you was on his side, and it was okay. And you signed bills and shit that caused a lot of this shit. So, but don't go flip-flopping now. stand 10 toes down
Well,
on what
maybe
you did.
the
least, the most I can give her, she was apologizing. I give her that.
And she did apologize. Well, maybe she actually did favor what Trump was doing for the country. Just she didn't like the way he handled the Epstein stuff.
Well, as she shouldn't. If you was to see half the shit that's in them fucking files, this is why he's working so hard to hide them bitches. It's disgusting, Tim. I mean, yeah. I mean, gross.
Yeah, Bill Maher on his show talked about it.
Allegedly, now we know what happened to John Benet Ramsey.
I didn't hear that. Wait a minute.
Oh, yes, I did too. I did today.
Wait a minute.
Now you go back, and now they say you can go back and look at the her birthday party pictures and all of that stuff. And guess who was there? Guess who palled around with them? Ghislaine.
John, the little girl with all the makeup on.
When they was in them pageants and stuff. You remember she was
I remember the whole case. It's probably one of the most.
Her standing with the E guy and all of that stuff. I seen it today. Yesterday, one of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John Benet Ramsey.
Wow. Yeah, she's probably one of the most well-known missing person cases since damn near the Lindbergh. Yep. That was a big story.
Family and Ghislaine Maxwell have the same attorney, allegedly.
That's a big allegedly. All right.
Yeah, go look that up. I was like, whoa.
That is worthy of looking at. Miss Mobet, I got to move on, but damn, that's big. I wasn't expecting you to drop that bombshell. Wow.
Yeah, no, listen, it's a shit show. He's disrespectful. He's not a man of the people. He only wants who's going to slob them crusty ass orange balls of his. And he found about 77 million folks that did. Hey.
He is our president. He is your president for 3 more years.
He's the president in name.
All right. Well, hopefully things get better than what you're pointing out. You're kind of scaring me.
We hope so too.
You're kind of scaring me.
Listen, that's it. We hope so too.
All right.
We like that quiet. We like that quiet. What is politics? As long as you get shit done, you ain't never got to say shit to me. Just get it done.
Well said, Miss Mobetta. Thank you for coming through.
Send me your P.O. box. I'll make you a hat.
Okay, I have to do that. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 75. We can make that happen, 75,000. If you watch it on YouTube, feel free to smash that like button. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. This is open. I want to say this is uncensored programming. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q. So understand, regardless of what you're hearing, you're likely to hear the other side because we don't censor anyone for their commentary. We are currently live on Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. If you are tuned in to either one of those platforms, feel free to follow us. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a sub. We're here most weekdays and occasionally weekends as well, as you may see. Predominantly, we're here because of President Trump's post on the internet yesterday, or in the wee hours of the morning yesterday, featuring a host of Democrats as animals in the wild. But the liberals certainly are going to, they froze the frame of the Obamas as primates. I mean, listen, he posted pictures of Biden and Hakeem Jeffries and Kamala Harris and Whoopi Goldberg and other various well-known liberals as other animals. But listen, you post a picture of an African-American as an ape, as a chimpanzee or any kind of primate, and it's going to draw attention because it does have racial overtones. I mean, there's a historical precedent in this country of portraying African Americans as primates. So it's going to draw more, because a lot of folks are pointing out this isn't the whole video. This is just a frozen frame of it. And by the way, in the frozen frame, Trump's picture is not there in the sign there. That's something we've added for the graphic. That's not there. But yeah, it's part. And I want to ask you folks by way of yes or no, because most of you folks originally just saw the video, saw the still shot of the Obamas as apes. That's how most folks were introduced to what Trump did, as a still shot of the Obamas as apes. I want to ask you guys by way of yes or no. Once you saw the whole video featuring all the other Democrats as animals and the Lion Sleeps Tonight backdrop, did that change your opinion of what you've seen at all? Yes or no in the comments. Did seeing the whole video versus seeing a still shot of the Obamas as apes, did that change your opinion of this at all? Because you know, everyone from Tim Scott to many Republicans even referred to it as racist. But folks who were more or less defending Trump said that you're taking it out of context. It's actually a whole video. It ain't just this little frozen frame. So did it change your opinion of this at all? Now, looking in the comments, almost everybody is saying no, with the exception of, I guess, a few. We'll try Cody Birch on Instagram. We'll bring up another guest here. Yeah, I don't think anybody. Lion King has no apes, says Portia Mac. Yeah, I heard that same thing. I have a question for you. What do you think Trump did, which is way better for black people, streamer, if you don't mind civil rights being rolled back? Listen, my personal analysis, I don't know what Trump did that's better for blacks. I think Trump is an alpha male. He likes to be on top. He likes to be a leader. And he likes to portray himself as the best. That's Trump's method of operation. But what is it actually based on anything in reality? My answer is no. I listen, when Trump was president during his first term, the job numbers were good. Now, folks can suggest that he inherited a good economy from Obama. True. But he also maintained a good economy himself right up to the pandemic, which I think he did not handle as well. So the black community was thriving just like a lot of America was thriving. But that's not something he did specifically for the black community. Now, some folks bring up money being allocated to HBCUs, which is something many other presidents before him did. I don't know if he did more for historically black colleges and universities than any other president in history, because he is saying he did more than Abraham Lincoln. I'll tell you two things. First of all, I don't know if he did more for HBCUs than anybody else. But I would also add that 99.9% of blacks don't go to HBCUs. I happen to be African American. If you haven't guessed that by now, I don't know anyone that went to an HBCU. I got 3 college degrees. None of them came from an HBCU. I never even considered going to an HBCU. So even if he did allocate money to HBCUs, most African Americans would not be affected by that. I mean, it would be just like if Obama allocated a ton of money to Ivy League colleges and universities. Most white Americans don't go to Ivy League colleges. You know, he's bragging about how much money he gave to Harvard, Yale, or William and Mary. You think somebody living in Alabama is going to be like, yeah, that was that's irrelevant to them. So it's the same thing to most African Americans. We have not went to HBCUs. Other than that, which is probably the biggest thing that supporters of Trump give him credit for, I don't know. I don't know of anything else that he's done for African Americans. Like, listen, if he had a legalized marijuana and removed all convictions from everybody's records because he felt marijuana was not as harmful, something like that would have been huge, because a lot of African Americans have gotten tied up in the drug game. Something like that would have been major. Or healthcare, forgiving college tuition, things like that are going to hit a lot of African Americans. He didn't do any of that stuff. Minimum wage increase would be huge to a lot of African Americans. So I don't know where he's getting it from. I'll just say that. And I see in the comments, Blue says no fluffing detected. Thank you. But yeah, look, if he'd done a ton of things that really benefited the African American community, damn it, I would give him credit. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If you do good things for people, I believe you should be credited for it. You don't have to agree with anybody's politics. If you do what's right, you should be noted for it. I think he just is playing the alpha male role and saying I'm better than everybody else in terms of helping out African Americans. Keep in mind, Lyndon B. Johnson, JFK working with Martin Luther King, giving African Americans civil rights. That's fucking huge. Trump hasn't done anything that comes close to that. So I don't know where he's going with it. Looking in the comments, though, I think the Biden administration did more for the HBCU, says Carlos. Maybe, but like I said, donating money to HBCUs is something that does not affect the overwhelming majority of African Americans. It's irrelevant to most blacks. I see in the comments, Graham says Trump, 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 Trump about 100 times. Fair enough. Fresh trash is definitely a good handle for you, idiot. Appreciate the insult. It doesn't say much, but thank you, Eloise. I think it is. Appreciate your comment. By the way, folks, like I said, it's an uncensored program, so it is what it is. Let me go back to the box. We'll go to Arsha Fine. Good evening, Arsha. Thank you, Arsha, by the way. Appreciate that. Good evening.
Hey. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you as well. Now, you're over in Hawaii. Have you gotten a hold of the photo picture behind me?
Yes, I saw the video.
As an African American woman, what does it say to you? I mean, why do you think he posted it? What is the message behind it?
Okay, well, the video I think originally started with voting. They were talking about the election, blah blah blah, and then it went into this freaking I don't know worship video is him being the king of the jungle because you know he loves being a king. And, you know, yes, all of these other people are animals, but he decided to post the first Black family in the White House as apes, which we all know back in the day, you know, people or governments or whatever, as a part of their propaganda would create caricatures of Black people, Jewish people.
Yeah, but what about the notion that he didn't watch the whole video, he never meant to do this, or perhaps a staffer did it and he was not aware of it?
Well, that staffer should be fired. And he, as the commander-in-chief of all Americans, and if he loves us, Black people, and he's done so much for us Black people, which I think when he says that, he's actually saying, I ain't doing shit for you. Then he should say, I apologize to my fellow African Americans that this offended you.
So then let me ask you.
That's the right thing to do.
Okay.
With this particular thing.
Let me ask you a sincere question. And you're saying he should apologize to my fellow African Americans. And by the way, folks, tap the screen, help your boy out with the TikTok cap, go, add mustache, support the program. When you say he should apologize, you know, you titled it as to my fellow African Americans. Just a sincere question. Would the African American community accept his apology, in your opinion?
That's for us to decide as individuals.
Would you accept it?
Hell, the fact that he would actually apologize, I would actually believe he was sorry. But because he hasn't, he's not sorry.
So if he did apologize, at least for you, Arsha, he would be right by you.
I would, because it never comes out his mouth, I would actually think he meant it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So then, yeah, I guess if he could
I mean, I might start shitting Skittles before that happens, but yeah.
No, don't shit Skittles. You might end up inviting George Zimmerman to your house. So do you think the Black community as a whole, though? I mean, we're speculating because you don't know, but do you think the Black community as a whole would accept his apology?
I don't represent.
I know, but you can speculate. That's what we do here.
I don't know, Tim.
You don't know. Do you have any Black friends that you
of
don't?
Course I do.
And you have no idea if they'd accept his apology or not.
It would be a start for him taking accountability that this was wrong.
How about this? Straight Talk Commerce says, no way I would apologize for that video. He suggested because the apology would actually make it worse. What say you?
So I just love it how, I mean, I don't understand how you can do moral gymnastics and be like, it was meant to be a joke. Well, all those caricatures were meant to be a joke about Black people because, you know, we are at the bottom of the chain of you know, we're inferior.
So if it's meant to be a joke, and there's so much outrage from the left and particularly the Black community, Does that mean it's safe to say that perhaps black people simply can't take a joke, snowflakes, something of that nature?
Because we know that the joke is out of the idea of white supremacy and throwing a breadcrumb. Okay, listen, why did this come out right now? Just like everybody says, every so often, something has to come out just a little bit, even if it only lasts for 12 hours, that reminds the white supremacists that he really is one of them.
Wait a minute. You see this video or even this frozen still shot, and you think white supremacy when you see it?
Absolutely.
Explain. Elaborate.
Again, Black people are inferior. They are basically apes, not monkeys, apes. And yes, takes away dignity. We're stupid. We're inferior.
So let me ask you this then, because it's not uncommon to hear people of color, particularly black folks, refer to Caucasians as crackers. Do you believe when a black person refers to someone white as a cracker, that's a term of black supremacy or something of that nature?
No, that wasn't based on the color of their skin. That was based on the cracking of the whip. Look at history.
That is true. That is true. So
that would be like calling somebody a plumber. Are you upset? That's what you do. You work on plumbing. What do? You crack the whip.
You crack the whip. That's a good one. That's a really good pushback. That's a good comeback, brother. Wow. So, I'll say the honk in the last part of it is key. I'm not going to put them together because I don't know if the apps will censor me. But what about when blacks use that against a white person?
I haven't heard somebody use that term since Richard Pryor. Come on, Tim.
But when he used it in George Jefferson, but when they were using that, was that a reference to black supremacy?
No. We were in no way saying that whites were inferior to us based on where they come from or the color of their skin.
It's an insult though, right?
Oh, well, me calling you a dick is an insult. Doesn't mean I think I'm.
Yeah, but you're not gonna call me. You don't call specific races of people dicks. You might any guy that you might not like, maybe even a woman you may call that. But I'm saying when I would
like to ask any whitey person out there, are you offended if somebody came up and called you a honky, or would you seriously? I've never used that word in my lifetime.
Hold on. If a black person, if you're sitting in a Walmart or something like that, or something, let's say you're ringing somebody up and you're taking a long time and somebody black calls you that, you know it's meant to be an insult, Arsha. Why wouldn't, of course they would be offended.
Okay, I want to ask anybody that is African American on this live, when is the last time you've called a Caucasian person a honk dash key?
My guess is they call them something a lot worse than that in modern times. You're right, Richard Pryor, they don't use that term anymore. The modern day terms are much worse.
And it was more like jive talk that only lasted and I mean that in the best way possible. That word was only used for a very short stint of time.
Well, Mr. Magic in the comments said he used it yesterday. He says yesterday.
I was making a comeback.
So, hey, there you go. But I guess I would wonder, because that is an archaic term by our standards, but it ain't like the African American community are not insulting white people because of their skin color. So there has to be a more modern term. I can't think offhand what it is, but I'm sure that they're not just calling us names. Some of us are calling them names as well. I just can't think of the insult.
I call them melanin challenged.
No, it's worse than that. Whatever it is, it's worse than melanin challenge. That's pretty mild.
I think this whole conversation about this is stupid.
We all know what it is. I do too. I'm not a fan of it, but
and for MAGA reacts, I am sorry, man, but you First you say you voted for Donald Trump because you believed he had common sense. And then you say he's stupid and about the post, and that now you don't care if he lacks common sense. So you can't have it. You vote. And if this person that we hold so high as being so successful as a businessman, you're telling me he can't watch a video? He is the president of the United States. He is not you. He's not me. And his administration is, or whoever his staffer is representing our administration.
Well, let me somewhat defend MAGA since he's not here and give you a little bit of a pushback. When it comes to Trump having common sense, obviously the excuses they're giving for why Trump posted this video is a complete lack of common sense. Posting stuff you haven't listened to or you haven't watched it in its entirety. But the common sense that may have led MAGA to vote for Trump, common sense is you got enough sense to know actually what a woman is. You got enough sense to know that our border should be secure and you shouldn't just let anybody in here. Common sense that you shouldn't run businesses out of your town with regulations and high taxes. That's the common sense that they're going to suggest that led them to vote for Trump and to stray away from liberals.
Common sense is finish the ballroom before you start renovating another place.
Well, but the ballroom is coming from non-taxpayer funds. It's coming from personal donations.
Listen, we are all living in brain rot reality.
Meaning, what does that mean?
It means it's like every day of our lives, we are just scrolling through what the hell just happened today. Because we can't, this man anymore.
You're kind of going in and out. Real quick in the comments, Handsome Evil Finger says, tell Arsha finds she's feisty and a real talk woman. He says she can call me anything because I'll do anything for her. So you do have a fan out there, Arsha. You do have a fan out there, including me. You do have a fan.
Thank you very much. I forgot what I was going to say.
Let me ask you this. What has Trump done that's so bad in terms of running the country compared to Biden? Because some folks say Biden was asleep at the wheel. What say you?
I thought, okay, this man talked about getting justice for these victims of Epstein. Now he's saying it's done over, nobody cares anymore. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure the hundreds of women still care. So
I got MAGA that suggests Trump never ran on releasing the Epstein files. That was something that the Democrats are.
Again, hear no evil, see no evil. And they believe this man doesn't speak any, and it's right in front of our eyes. It's the disconnection of reality these people have. And the fact that this guy, this man, the president of the United States can basically claim stupidity and ignorance, and you'll be like, okay, that's okay.
No, he's claiming.
I thought we were supposed to make America great again, not Argentina with all our money, not Venezuela with our money. I feel like his focus is on so many other things, but I'm not reaping anything from this administration.
Wow. Well, look, under Trump, the price of gas has went down. Some would say the price
big fucking deal.
How is that a big deal? People put gas in their cars, truck drivers. That is benefiting Americans, is it not?
Tim, I thought by now Ukrainians and Russians would be living in peace.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to have a commander-in-chief that would pardon drug dealers and sex traffickers, but it makes sense. They're his friends. They're a part of the same crew. I didn't think that we were going to be pardoning this is he's mean and he's wicked.
He's mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean, he's mean. He's a mean child. That mean fucker in school. He's that same one. He can dish it, he can dish it, he can dish it, he can kick your ass. But the moment he gets slapped in the face, he's like, oh my God. And he's hurt. He is fragile, and his administration is the sanctuary city. Because if you do any wrong and you happen to be in this administration or on those papers and he knows you, you are safe.
Really?
And the fact that you are giving sanctuary to people that did this to children and to women. Dude, fuck you. I thought you loved women.
God.
You were the protector of women. Remember him saying that in a rally? I'm the protector of women. No, you're not. You're a predator of women.
He did say something to that nature, but I mean, listen, at the end of the day, folks felt.
Tim, don't at the end of the day me on that. Just say I agree. I know what those other people say. You don't need to echo it. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to say that at the end of the day.
But you can't help it. You just got to.
Folks felt we had a shell of a man in office under Biden, and we needed something viable, something with a heartbeat. They felt Biden was equivalent to Weekend at Bernie's.
Hate and venom and rage. And
you said a heartbeat of hate. What has Trump done to make you indicate has a heartbeat of hate?
I don't know. Look at his Thanksgiving tweet. Look at his Christmas tweet. Look at his any Marjorie Taylor Greene tweet. He doesn't have anything nice to say about anybody. Oh, you know what he said nice? He said about that woman, Good, what's her last name? Renee Good?
Yeah, Renee Good, Renee Nicole Good, the one that
he said that I hope her dad, because I heard that he was a supporter, I hope he still likes me.
He did say that.
He didn't even say, I'm sorry that you lost your daughter. He didn't say anything. He's horrible, wicked.
Well, but the belief is that Renee Nicole Good lost her life obstructing justice, interfering with federal agents, and she is responsible for her own destiny. A lot of folks believe that, look, if you hadn't been doing what you were doing, you wouldn't have got what you got.
Well, then that Ashley Babbitt, she got what she deserved to. So be quiet.
Well, Ashley Babbitt is
actually going into a freaking building instead of trying to move her car. Be quiet.
Well,
and these immigration ICE going into polling places, that's not your job. What is your job? Immigration, customs, enforcement. Nothing about there.
Wait. If he is the president of this great nation and there is election fraud, it is his job to make sure the elections are free and fair.
For him to win.
Well, that could be the end result. That could be the end result.
He truly is making America great again. And you can't say he doesn't speak on race. Okay, Obama didn't speak on how I'm going to help the black people. But gosh dang it, because I'm trying not to swear. I'm sweating right now. I'm so mad. Look what you do to me, Tim. Anyway.
I'm blushing. I'm black and blushing.
Along with J.D. Vance, along with Stephen Miller, I am gonna make it so that white men aren't discriminated against anymore.
What's wrong with that? If white men are being discriminated against, what's wrong? Nobody should get discriminated against. What if he believes white men are being mistreated? What's wrong with that?
Okay. Why not? I'm gonna make sure that there's no discrimination. Why are we only going to protect white people? So it's not like Obama went up there saying I'm going to only protect black people. He didn't even mention protecting people.
So what is this, a wording error? So he just worded it wrong?
It's not a wording error. No, Tim. I thought he was the smartest person on the earth, and he had common sense.
He has 3 more years. Get him in time. I got to move on, Arsha. You got to give him
time to make excuses so these people can listen. There are no other idols. Do not worship any others other than me. These people, I see bumper stickers. Love God, love equals Trump on their thing. I'm sorry. I am sorry. They are now idolizing a man. If you get a tattoo of Donald Trump on your freaking Tim, I love Michael Jackson. I love him. I Lenny Kravitz, hot damn. He yes. I do not have him on my car. I do not have them on my body. I'm a grown ass person. I don't even have a poster. I loved Obama. I didn't have a poster.
I get it. It's a bit far. I got to move it on, but I do get it. You shouldn't be putting tattoos of a president on your body. I do get the idolization part. Arsha, thank you for coming through.
All right.
All right, appreciate it. And there are, she's right. There are Trump supporters that do have President Trump permanently tattooed on their body. Look, I don't even recommend getting your damn husband or wife name tattooed on you. Nothing is permanent. I just don't recommend doing it. But there are people, I mean, they don't just have Trump, they got his whole face and everything on him. I don't get it. If you want to talk about derangement syndrome, to me, that seems like it would fit the definition. In the comments, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, so I'll just say 6835 says, venom and rage is exactly how the leftist is described. Yeah, but I mean, is it accurate? Do you believe the left is full of venom and rage? Let me know in the comments, 6835. The first name of that, Nicoya, something there's no way I'm gonna be able to pronounce all that. Looking in the comments here real quick, what does that say? Handsome Evil Finger says, Trump needs to be hog-tied. Damn. He's the king of all pigs. Support your handsome liberal. Let's reach that TikTok goal. And don't forget MAGA reacts is gay. You say the most shocking shit. Appreciate it. By the way, he is right, though. Tap the screen. Oh, my God. Evil Fingers. Tap the screen. Get me on up to 110,000. We can make that happen. Putting on my spectacles so I can see. I can't believe he just said that. Wow. Tap the screen. Get the likes up to 110,000. This is uncensored programming. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anyone on the program, including yours truly. This is all about free speech. You're going to hear comments you favor, comments you disagree with. That's how free speech works. Anyway, looking in the comments, your kids' names are okay for tattoos. Okay, I'll go with that one, Jeremy. That actually is a decent comeback. I don't have any. So, but I do see putting your child's name on your body for a tattoo. That is a long-lasting, permanent relationship. That one I can agree with. I get that you're supposed to get married. The vows are until death do you part. We're in a country where 50% of the marriages don't make it. So I would not put a spouse on my body. But the child, I can work with that. It's certainly not a president. That's crazy to put a politician's name on your body. That is fucking crazy. He said it. Oh my God. Who said that? TFI 9901 says, until you find out the kid isn't yours. Wow. Can you imagine you don't put a kid's name on your body and it ain't even your shorty? You see people all the time with the big black patch of a tattoo on their body because they don't cover up some shit they put on by mistake. That would be terrible. Wow, that would be terrible to tattoo a kid on your body that ain't even your shorty. Let me go back to the box. We'll make it happen with the one and only Straight Talk Commerce. Good evening, Straight Talk.
So you're saying that I should remove the full back tattoo of President Trump?
I'm saying you don't have that bullshit on your back.
I don't have a tattoo. Right. Dude, someone asked me if I would tattoo my wife to somewhere on my body. I said, which one? and she didn't speak to me for like a week.
Well, you could look like the Red Baron. You know, when he would shoot down an aircraft, they would put an X. You put an X to the wife's first name and X to the second one.
I would have to do that, my friend. I would have to do that. Hey, listen, I want to clear something up, okay? There were actually some things that Mo Betta tonight said that I was right in line with. It kind of scared me a little bit. And then she went on the JonBenet Ramsey thing. And that has been debunked for some time. The FBI made a special case to debunk that that 6-year-old birthday party.
When did that happen? When did the FBI do that?
It doesn't say here. It doesn't say when they came out and did it, but I mean recently.
I'm going to tell you. Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why.
The picture. Yeah, they said social media users, particularly on TikTok, because that's where she roams, pointed to a redacted photo in the release Department of Justice records of the investigation into Epstein. The photo shows a young girl on Epstein's shoulders. The FBI claims that this girl was not JonBenet Ramsey.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna tell you why I asked when this happened. You gotta understand that right now the left side of the aisle views the FBI the same way you guys did when they were investigating the 2020 election.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
so they don't trust Trump's
totally
FBI.
True.
Yeah.
When you're looking, look, it is an interesting, it is an interesting phenomenon, and I agree with you. They're your best buddies when you're running them, but when you're no longer in charge, and there's a reason to believe that way. I don't have any problem with the left looking at the FBI side-eyed now.
Yeah. Well, you got to think of it this way: with Trump controlling Pam Bondi, like literally all of Trump's adversaries have been indicted. Hold on, they've been indicted. Many of them have been sued or I mean, all his enemies. The FBI just suddenly found legitimate cases on all of these people. I mean,
listen, I get it. I 100% understand, and it's still happening whether you like it or not. Just like it happened to Republicans in the last administration, whether we liked it or not.
I don't recall all of Biden's enemies like Sean Hannity and all of them. He wasn't suing. Biden wasn't suing Fox and doing all that kind of stuff. He wasn't going after all his enemies like that.
34 senators and congressmen had their phone records seized.
We're talking about indictments. We're not talking about having your records
What do you think they were doing? They were spying on people.
We're not talking.
For trash to start.
We're not talking.
They were looking.
We're not talking spying.
If you weren't looking to.
We're not talking spying. We're talking about people who they're actively indicting people. I mean, by the way, Trump promised to drain the swamp and not do that shit. He was gonna be better than Biden.
You drain the swamp, and they had their shot at Trump, and the best they could come up with was 34 counts of one felony, and they got a court together, found him guilty. You guys are always talking about that. I mean, give me a break. You got your shot, and now he's going to take his shot.
So in other words, the whole Biden weaponized DOJ thing that ain't wrong. You just wanted to do it yourself.
Well, listen, it's just like reciprocal tariffs.
Right.
This is using the government retaliatory. Well, what does retaliatory mean? It means you hit me first. So if I'm going to retaliate, that means you got it coming, don't you?
No, because what do
you mean no?
I don't, because he's going after all kinds of people that wasn't going after him.
So I'm supposed to let you have a free shot, and you're not supposed to expect something coming back? Get out of here.
So you're trying to tell me Don Lemon tried to have Trump arrested?
No, Don Lemon broke the law. Don Lemon is going to prison, and I think people need to get comfortable with that. Because Don Lemon broke a very important foundational law in this country. The FACE Act, you guys got to knock it off.
You think him interrupting the church service for look, I'm not arguing with you that some of them now Don Lemon will have his day in court, but you really expect him to serve some genuine prison time behind this?
For sure. He admitted it on tape to everyone. He bragged about what he was doing. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I have never seen anyone give themselves up like Don Lemon did.
What you think he was going to do? Go on the run? You going to jump in the Bronco like O.J. Simpson? Is that
No. I mean, he basically was in the bank going, okay, in about 5 minutes, we're going to meet here. We're going to rob this bank. I'm going to go into the vault. I'm going to steal the. I mean, he detailed everything he knew prior to. He said, hey, this is what I'm doing. It's supposed to be scary. There's a young boy over there crying. We're supposed to make people feel a certain way. I mean, dude, he spelled out for the jury exactly how he broke the law. And
yet a judge would not even, they had to go to a grand jury to get a case against him. They couldn't even get one from a judge.
Yes, which is this case in 99% of the time. You go to certain
No, it's not. If a person, wait, hold on. No, judges don't turn down legitimate cases 99% of the time. Where are you getting that from?
Yeah, in certain areas of this country, it depends on whether you have an R or a D next to your name, whether or not you are going to be charged. And that's a fact.
So if you think he's going to jail, then you're saying that if he gets a Democratic judge, he ain't going nowhere. According to you, if a Democratic judge is over the case, they're biased.
Well, whether he serves time, I mean, I saw that in the comment section. Whether he serves time, that's another story.
I just asked you clearly, is he going to prison? And you said yes.
Yeah, he definitely broke that law, and there are definitely consequences for that.
I think you are.
So if he doesn't, he may listen. If history is any precedent, and if there's fairness in our judicial system, he will serve some time. Yes.
I think you are absolutely off your rocker if you believe that. Him going into church with a camera he went into church with a camera and a microphone, so he clearly is doing an interview.
Church service, and you can't do that. And by the way, you can't report on something that you already know is going to happen. You're a participant at that point. If he'd have rolled by there while this was going on, he can report on it. But if if he goes in with full knowledge that it's about to happen, he is participating and documenting it.
So if I think we may have had this conversation before, and Binky732 says, I like bananas. So you going with the monkey comment, which is not on the screen. But let me ask you this. So if somebody tells you, I'm about to go down the street and beat the hell out of this bitch that, took money from me or whatever, and you go down there knowing that that person about to commit a crime ahead of time and you film it, you can be held accountable for that?
100%. 100%. You are now a participant.
What the hell are you getting this from?
If you don't go there, if you are telling me that you can report on a crime you had prior knowledge of, you are an accessory to that crime before the fact. How are you not? Hold on. Don Lemon did not report to the police that this was about to happen. He was a co-conspirator.
I'm going to tell you, I don't think anybody watching believes what you just said.
I don't care what they believe, and you tell me how that's not true. If you know that I am about to commit a crime, it is your duty as a citizen to report me to the police.
No, it ain't. There's no good Samaritan act. So in other words, if I know a crime is committed and I don't tell the cops that crime was going to...
If I tell you I'm going to kill my wife, going upstairs, I'm going to kill my wife, and you don't report to the police what I said, you're telling me that they're not going to be interested in that? Get out of here. If I steal from the grocery store, we're going to the grocery store and I'm going to steal something from Ralph's, and you sit in the car, I ain't part of this. No, sir.
So let me ask you this then. So
if full knowledge that I went in and got some pork chops.
So what are they going to charge me with? If I knew you were about to go kill your wife and I didn't...
Accessory.
Oh my God. I'm an accessory because I didn't tell? So I got it. So I have to snitch or I'm a felon.
If you know a crime is about to be committed, and listen, no one's saying that Don Lemon knew that a crime was about to be committed. He's that dumb. He didn't know that he was breaking the FACE Act. He should know.
I wish I had a lawyer.
Journalism school should have taught him that he was about to break a federal law, a very important federal law, by the way, because that is the freedom to assemble. You have no right to go into that church and disrupt a religious service.
I wish you guys could cite me some kind of law or something that says it real quick. Hold on, Handsome Evil Finger. Hold on, hang on. You can do that. It's certainly provided if you look it up. Handsome Evil Finger says choke, mouth, Commerce, that's a play on your name, Straight Talk Commerce,
really?
says
Not a very good one.
choke mouth Commerce. He is smoking Trump stuff. He's smoking Trump stuff. That's what lover of Trumpers do. They smoke that crack. So he suggested you're smoking some kind of MAGA drug there, Straight Talk.
All right. Okay. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, he can't even come up. You need to start. This is the type of person needs to start using AI. That he is, or she is what AI is for, to help you be more creative.
I thought he was going to say you were smoking a man's pole. So at least I think he was lenient on you.
Hey, look,
he was lenient on you.
Everybody is, we're supposed to be tolerant of that now, I thought.
Well, according to your president, we should be able to take a joke, apparently. So
yeah, man, I got to tell you something, okay? A couple things about that. The president needs to be responsible for his own social media, whatever's going out over his own social media, okay?
I think he is. I think he is responsible.
See, I am not qualified to tell you whether that is racist because I don't know what was in the guy's heart. I don't know whether if that's how he
let me ask you this way. Have you ever in your entire life seen somebody that was Caucasian portray African Americans as primates and it not be considered racist? A single incident of that in your entire life. Give me an example. Give me an example.
No, I can't. I was agreeing with you. Yeah. I mean, I can see if you're looking for that, you're going to find it. You know what I mean? If you look for love, you're going to find love. If you look for racism, you are going to find racism. So
I didn't order a pizza. I didn't order a pizza. He delivered this shit. This was put on my porch. I mean, we didn't go looking for racism. He sent it to us.
Okay, but that's your perception of it.
What is your perception of it? What is your perception? You just admitted portraying African Americans as primates. You've never seen it done in any fashion or form that wasn't considered racist. So what is your perception of this?
So every single human was transmorphed into an animal in that. Every single one.
That's true.
There was no human beings walking around.
That is true. Yeah.
You and I both know that he and President Obama have had a long-standing, even before Trump was president, long-standing beef. I don't know what that beef was, but Barack Obama said, there's one thing I am that Donald Trump will never be, and that's president of the United States.
Yeah, but does it ever?
6 months later, he was president of the United States.
True, but Straight Talk, does it ever? Obama ain't saying shit about Trump these days. I mean, is he going to attack him forever?
Again, listen, you and I, we don't know how deep that beef goes. I was very shocked. Because when I saw that photo you have right there, I went, damn, dude. What? I mean, you're going to make me defend that shit? And then I saw the video and I went, oh, wow, that does not seem anywhere near what I thought was going on.
What did the video make you think of? What did the video make you think of?
Well, he was ripping on everybody in the Democratic Party. I mean, Adam Schiff is there as a fucking flamingo or a giraffe. And then you got Whoopi Goldberg bouncing around as a hippo. I mean, you've got Schumer going through as a zebra. You know what I mean?
Who was the fat pig on the plate? Who is that woman?
I don't know. And I'm like, I would have been mad if I was her.
I'm sure she represents somebody. I've been trying to figure out who is that fat pig in that video.
I'm going to find out who it is. Trust that. But what I'm saying to you is, look, if I were the Obamas, would I appreciate it? Fuck no, I wouldn't appreciate that. That was an absolute insult. Okay? No, I'm not.
So your argument is that it may not be racist; it's just really insulting.
Yeah. Yes. I don't listen. If it was just that image, you got it all day long. He may as well have put him as a Sambo on a, whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, even if we go by your description, I mean, that ain't much better. Well, I'm not a racist. I'm just really insulting. I'm just really insulting to people. That ain't much of an upgrade, to be honest with you.
We've got beef. It's all good.
No, he ain't got beef with all of them motherfuckers. I mean,
yes, he does. Yes, he does. No. Hey, where do you think all of those 33,000 lies y'all keep talking about come from? Who keeps perpetuating that?
Obama, Straight Talk, Obama rarely ever is in the news talking about Trump at all. This is outdated beef. This is derangement syndrome beef. Obama ain't
he's
said.
out on Martha's Vineyard, Tim. He's out on Martha's Vineyard minding his own business, and all of a sudden Trump throws a grenade on that.
Yeah.
He's throwing poop on him.
And he still didn't say nothing about the guy. So
here's what you
hold on. I'll let you talk, but let me just say this.
Yeah.
This is why I tell people all the time when they say you liberals got Trump derangement syndrome, he lives in your head rent free and you can't stop talking about it. Trump is shown in the case of Obama, if you don't talk about Trump, then you just gonna be a fucking punching bag. Obama ain't saying nothing about Trump, and Trump keep taking swings at him.
Here's what you don't know.
What don't I know?
So President Obama is working behind the scenes, and everyone in the Republican Party knows this. He's working behind the scenes and working in a capacity where he's a community organizer. He has not relinquished his power over the Democratic Party. He is definitely an op in Trump's eyes.
And Kamala Harris too, because she's in the video. She constantly saying stuff about him. She's in the video too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of the people that are currently working against this president are in that video.
Where's the evidence?
Again, every single thing that Trump comes out with, he wants to do, gets opposition from the entire Democratic Party. And here's why I'm happy about that. Because when these things work, you get no credit. You cannot, like Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren tried for 24 years to maximize the amount of interest on a credit card, right? You can't have any more interest than 10% interest. That's good and bad. She tried for 24 years to make that happen. Okay. Trump did it in 4 days.
Yeah, but guess what the right was saying when she was trying to do that? She's, regulations going to hurt businesses. Now Trump does it, and it's suddenly a great thing.
It 100% will. And here's what's going to happen. All of these families that are actually trying to get credit and trying to better their lives are not going to get credit at 10%. They're not going to get credit at all. So the president is limiting the amount of interest on those credit cards, and he's doing that for people that can get 10% or 1% or 5% interest on a credit card. So, Elizabeth Warren was trying to do that for some 20-some years. President Trump did it in 4 years, and we're going to find out that it was one of the most harmful things to people in a very, very, very long time.
So you believe what Trump has done is a bad thing, then? It's not going to be
a very bad thing for if you're a poor family.
Let me ask you something, because Trump made a lot of promises in terms of making America great again. What has he done in your opinion? Give me 3 things he's done that's good for the average American, how it affects their life and how it positively affects the life of the average American.
Yeah, those tariffs were probably the greatest thing an American president has ever done for this country.
So right now, the average American, as we speak, the average American is benefiting from those tariffs. Is doing
tremendously.
How?
Tremendously.
In what way? In what way?
A number of ways. Number one, we are onshoring manufacturing, and we're bringing, and our prices for goods are going to drop.
That's in the future. I say right now. You're giving me stuff in the future.
What do you mean right now?
Give me 3 things he's done that we can see right now for the average. You're giving me stuff in the future. If it happens, I'll give you credit for it, but that's in the future.
Those prices are dropping right now, but let me give you another example. Another example of this is gas prices. You said it earlier today. Gas prices are going to continue to fall. And that really helps, especially the poorer people that have to commute to work, and their food prices are going to come down.
I'll go with gas prices. Give me another.
With fuel prices dropping, you can heat your home, you can get to work, and do things.
But the problem is that I normally would agree with that, but the problem is while the price of gas is dropping, the price of energy is going up. That ain't happening though. Just like when the price of gas goes down, it's cheaper for trucks to go across the country. So normally the price of goods and services goes down. That ain't happening. No, it ain't.
It is though, and here's why you're misunderstanding this.
Okay.
Because you want everything right now, like a toddler.
Wait. Am I wanting it right now like a toddler, or is that what he said was going to happen?
It is happening, but it is happening at in a way that you don't perceive it as right now. In other words, if you say to me, I'm hungry, and your mama gets up and starts cooking you dinner, you still haven't eaten yet, and you're fussing. She's cooking it as fast as she can, Okay?
Okay.
But you're fussing and your little belly hurts. And that's where you are right now as far as this economy goes. Let me get back to the tariffs.
Okay.
All right, because by the midterms, by the third year of President Trump's administration, and probably lasting into his next administration, you're going to see prices in this country fall to levels that you're not used to, and you're going to be seeing the technology increases. You're going to see manufacturing increases that no one in the world has ever seen before.
I think the problem is a lot of the things that folks are saying that most of the Trump stuff is predicted in the future. What I think, let me play something for you, because you said like a toddler, how you gave a good example of your mom's cooking and you want it right now. I want you to hear this.
I will cut the price of energy.
Hang on, let me actually turn up the damn volume so you can actually hear what the hell I'm playing here. And I want to get your opinion on this, because this falls in line with what we're discussing.
Price of energy and electricity in half. Ready? 12 months from January 20th, to take office on January 20th, your electric bill, including cars, air conditioners, heating, everything, your total electric bill will be 50% less. We're going to cut it in half. And we have it. We have the power to do it because we have it. We don't need ships. We don't.
Okay, now he took office in January 20th, so he's suggesting that by January 20th of 2026, your energy prices are going to be in half. Did that happen to you?
Well, no, but here's also, let me just say, President Kennedy said at the end of this decade, we're going to launch a man to the moon. You know what I mean? Presidents make aspirational comments like that. This is what I'm saying.
So do you understand, based on his statements, do you understand why some toddlers are crying and they haven't been fed yet by their moms?
Well, listen, no. And here's why. Because I can understand if you're a toddler having that reaction.
Let me ask you too. Is this, when it comes to what he just made there, is it promises made, promises kept?
Yes, because he did everything that he said he was going to do. Now, is it happen in the time frame that you're happy with? Absolutely not. And here's one of the reasons why. Because when he did not expect that you were going to fight him while he was cooking dinner.
Why the hell would any politician expect that he's not going to receive resistance in fighting? Who has ever been president that did not receive that?
Yeah, because we don't do that to the other side. We do not take. How many times did we take Obama to court on everything that the guy wanted to do? We sat.
So you just sat back and cooperated and let him pass the Affordable Care Act.
Did it pass?
Yeah, but it wasn't because it was because it was all Democrats.
Did we sue him in court every sentence? Did we take him to court and say
you tried? You did everything you could.
Exactly the shit we thought it was going to be.
You did everything you could. You did everything you could to stop Obama from doing everything he wanted. Even Biden's border bill.
No, Tim. That's not true. We did everything we did everything we could to warn you against passing that piece of shit, and you still did it. And you did it without reading it.
So you didn't. So you guys did not. So you didn't put
the bill.
So you didn't actually fight Obama's policies at all. You just warned people.
If Nancy Pelosi stood outside that Senate chamber and said, "We'll have to pass the bill before we can read the bill,"
that didn't answer my question though. The Republican, you guys did not, because you're saying that he got fought. You're saying that when Democrats are in office, Republicans weren't fighting against them at all, huh?
Republicans didn't vote for that bill, no. But we didn't fight against it. We offered amendments to it.
What's the difference?
We can make it better. That's something you guys don't do. If you don't like the way President Trump is removing illegal aliens from this country, you are very welcome to meet him in the Oval Office and say, listen, we don't like the way you're doing this in Minneapolis. How about if we join you and we find a better way to get what you want done? Or I'll give you a better example. We don't like the way that you think that you're going to supervise this next election. We would like our own team of people, the way it used to be standing shoulder to shoulder with you when we count these ballots up to make sure neither side cheats. That's not what you do. You sit there and throw stones and badger this man who's only trying to make your elections free and clear, safe for everybody, where you know that they were free and I know that they were free.
Unfortunately, even though I disagree with everything you just said, I gotta move on for time's sake. You know you're over time, but Straight Talk, you're always welcome on the program.
Say one more thing?
Real quick.
All right, listen, I have something that I want to show you personally.
Real quick.
Okay? It is a photograph. And so I want you to contact me after you're done because I want your opinion about something.
Okay, make it quick.
No. I'm after.
Oh, you're going to show me after.
Done.
Okay, I will do that.
I don't want to make it public.
All right,
I
fair
want to
enough.
show you personally, if you would get in contact with me, you and I can talk off.
I'll send you a message after the show. Straight Talk, thank you. Come on. Thanks, back anytime. Appreciate it. By the way, folks, tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 125. Straight Talk is simple. Straight Talk is simple and plain, says Birdman. I don't know if that's a compliment or otherwise. Couldn't prove they got stolen. None of his shills proved anything. They sued bigly. That is true. Look, if like I say all the time, I give Trump credit where I believe he deserves credit. But when it comes to his claims on the 2020 election, it's empty. It's empty. I mean, he's made claims about Dominion voting machines, dead people voting, illegal immigrants voting. That stuff has not been proven. Widespread fraud with very little to no arrest. If because right now they're talking about not only should you have an ID to vote, and I agree with that, and I think most Americans agree that you're a full-grown adult. There's no reason for a grown-ass man or a woman not to have an ID. So I don't mind requiring an ID. But now they're getting to the point where they're talking about you got to prove citizenship to vote. So you're showing up to the polls with either a passport or a birth certificate. A lot of folks don't have access to their birth certificate. I mean, that's a document that a lot of folks have. Now, I can understand viewing it as bullshit to have a full-grown adult talking about they don't have an ID. But a birth certificate is a document because I was one of those individuals. When I migrated overseas to Australia back in the early 2000s, I had to get a copy of my birth certificate. I had to reach out to the hospital and send them money for a certified copy and all of that kind of shit. And with President Trump, when Obama showed his birth certificate, they started bitching and saying it's not the long form version of it. I don't know if you can get that from anywhere but the hospital. So I'm okay with requiring a driver's license or state ID, but then when you start talking about proving citizenship, to me, it starts looking like you're intentionally trying to make it hard for people to vote, because it shouldn't take but a minute for a polling place to run your driver's license or state ID number and determine if you're a U.S. citizen. That should be done on their end. You shouldn't have to show up to vote with all these fucking documents. To me, that's when it starts really looking like you're trying to make it hard for people to vote, because now they have an ID, and to get a birth certificate is going to cost money. If you don't have people already are saying that it'll cost them money to get an ID. Like I said, I believe you should have an ID. And if you don't, it doesn't cost a lot of money to get it. But now when you're throwing in birth certificates and all that other shit too, now you're starting to add up. Because if you're trying to get let's say you don't have a driver's license or a state ID, and you do want to get one, you're going to have to get a birth certificate first to go down there. You need a birth certificate and probably proof of residence where you live at. You might need to present a light bill or a gas. You got to come with some documents to the DMV or whatever to get the ID. Them documents are going to cost you money. And then they're going to charge you a few more bucks to get the ID. Yeah, now it's starting to get hard. Not super hard, but it is a hurdle. It is a hurdle to make it harder for somebody to vote. So I'm not a fan of requiring actual citizenship to vote, unless I see a whole wide variety of proof that illegal immigrants have been voting. I believe the Trump administration trying to indicate that a lot of illegal immigrants have voted is making a mountain out of a molehill. I don't believe that has happened to any significant number at all. I just don't believe that. I believe that is something they're just telling you so that it would legitimize what they're doing. A violation of the 19th Amendment, says Mr. G, also says MAGA ain't shit. And don't know what there we go. America losing its free elections this year when Trump rigs it. To me, that definitely looks like rigging. When you start requiring citizenship, you got Steve Bannon talking about he's going to surround polling places with ICE, once again, to prevent problems that really have no evidence that are actually happening. Look, there are historical precedents of leaders making up reasons that are based on nothing that is proven to do something they wanted to do. Weapons of mass destruction is a perfect example. You want to get rid of Saddam Hussein, so you pretend like he has weapons of mass destruction as a reason to go in. Hitler did it. Venezuelan drug boats. You want to get rid of Maduro, you want to get access to the oil, well, they're sending fentanyl. I think history will show us that Venezuela was never posing a fentanyl problem to America at all. I don't think historically we're ever going to look back at what happened and say, yeah, fentanyl was pumping better yet, Venezuela was pumping a ton of fentanyl into America. Notice you don't hear about that anymore. You blew up maybe a dozen boats or so, maybe killed about 120 people. And all of a sudden, the entire fentanyl industry from that country is gone. That makes sense. When you think about how much money they're making in the drug trade, 120 people and the whole industry is gone, huh? Okay, anyway, looking in the comments, tap the screen, get us up to 130. C. Osby says, so he murdered people. I'm just saying, his taking of lives off the coast of Venezuela has not been proven and he hasn't proven that he had any factual reason to do it. We have to simply believe him that those boats were possessing narcotics and that the inhabitants of those vessels were on their way to America. We have zero evidence that stuff is true. We can look at the boats and say, look, they don't look like fishing boats. I've had people say that. One was a submersible. It is highly unlikely that somebody's going to be fishing with a submarine. So we can go with that, but you got to prove a lot more than it was just a drug boat or just a boat capable of carrying drugs. You got to prove they were coming to America. There's no evidence of that. And of course, you got to prove that they were actually carrying drugs. It could be a drug boat that somebody is just simply out at sea with that carries no product at all. That's not a death sentence for doing that. So yeah, we have no proof that what he said is actually based on reality. And I don't think we're going to get it. During the time it was happening, well, there may be some confidentiality reasons why we can't tell you because it's an ongoing investigation or whatever. It's been months now. It's been months now. We've got nothing. Not one single one of those boats has been proven to fit the narrative they've told. Going back to the box, though, and thank you guys that are tapping the screen. Get us up to 130. You guys can make that happen. Tamar, New Jersey's best. Good evening, Tamar. He will be impeached for the votes after the midterm, says Santana. My guess is if Trump loses in the midterms, keep in mind he has a window of 2 months. If he loses in November, those congressmen and women that may have won, those Democrat congressmen and women, they don't get sworn in until late January. So you got a window of, actually that's 2.5 months. That's when you start giving yourself the pardons. So not to mention they're going to be claiming some of those folks did not win legitimately. Guaranteed if Trump loses in the midterms, there's going to be a whole lot of Democrats that won that are going to be, the allegations are going to be they won by fraud. Guaranteed that's going to happen. So that may lead to investigations. That may lead to Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, perhaps suggesting that until the investigation concludes, I cannot swear this person in. Expect all of that. Remember during the shutdown, we had an Arizona representative, a female that had won, and he refused to swear her in until the government reopened. Expect that to happen. Expect there to be investigations alleging fraud. It won't be any Republicans that won by fraud. It'll be all 100% Democrats, as he's already stated, that we need the Republican Party to take over the elections in at least 15 places. You think any of those 15 places happen to be Republican strongholds? No, it's all blue cities. So you're going to likely have claims that Democrats won by fraud. Probably enough of them won by fraud that if they hadn't won by fraud, the Republicans would have maintained the House. So it'll be enough. Find me 11,000 votes. That's all I need, remember? So it'll be enough of them. And of course, while there's an ongoing investigation that Pam Bondi will be happy to initiate, we can't swear him in. It's an ongoing investigation. Anyway, looking in the comments, then how did Biden win? Taurus, I didn't say any of this shit's supposed to make sense. Get me up to 130, folks. I'll take the next caller there. Real quick, we are uncensored. That's how we always do it. We're MAGA friendly. Always have been MAGA friendly. Always will be MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome as well. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. So this is zero censorship here, folks. If you favor zero censorship, and you happen to be watching us live on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, we're now live on Substack, feel free to follow the program. If you're watching us live on YouTube, give us a sub. And by the way, for my YouTube viewers, I'm going to ask again, click that like button, smash that like button. It helps out with the algorithm. We're here most weekdays, so give us a sub, follow the program. In the comments real quick, stop picking up that hat. What's wrong with the hat? Don't you feel like the country is getting great again every time I hold it? What does this hat mean to you? Let me say it like that. You're outside late at night. Maybe you just came from, a bar or something. You're about to go in your house. You see 5 guys coming down the street. They all got the hat on. What does that say to you? What does this hat mean to you? Anyway, while you guys are thinking about that, let me go back to the box. We'll make the program work. We'll go straight to Gen X. Fuck around and find out. Good evening. Gen X.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gen X. What's going on, Mr. Tim?
Not much that I'm hearing. You know, Lamont from that show just passed away last week. From San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah, he just died.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that sucks. That's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, he just died last week. So let me see the comments. James Harper says, "Here comes the toothless wonder." Let me ask you, what actually happened here? They're talking about he didn't watch the video or he didn't watch the end of it. What actually happened in your opinion? What do you think? What you believe what they're saying, or part of it, or what's your analysis on this?
Unfortunately, yes, I do believe it. I would much rather it be on purpose, that he just fucking went buck wild and did some crazy shit that's hard for us to fucking defend. That's just me. But I don't know, Tim. I wasn't there. Do I think it's plausible that their excuse holds water? Yeah, I think it is, because I personally screenshotted videos from X. And I know that they automatically scroll. And by the time you can stop it and I go back in and I edit my videos and I watch them and I see the end and then I edit it and cut the end off.
What would you be watching on? Where do you, because I watch a lot of videos on social media. I don't get shit like this on my feed. So for you to get this on your For You page, kind of makes me wonder. This is very similar to the video I posted of him talking about blacks are responsible for 81% of white homicides. And he was like, I picked it up from somewhere. Where is he finding this stuff?
Do you know what the original video he was watching was? The point he was trying to make?
What?
It was about voter fraud and the machines and the glitch in the CPUs with the machines.
Okay.
X is very random. X isn't like TikTok where they have a.
I watch a lot of X. I watch a lot of X, Gen X. I am on X. I'm on Rumble. I'm on a lot of right-wing platforms as well. I don't get this shit.
I do. I get it. All right, you got that one, motherfucker. You got that one.
Okay, I'm not even gonna say it. You knew where I was about to go with that.
Straight talk.
So let me ask you.
Straight talk, but I disagree with them.
What do you disagree with?
I agree that Don Lemon committed a crime. I think the possibility of him getting convicted of that crime, I'm going to say 60-40, to be fair.
You think it's a 60% chance, huh?
That he will get convicted. Now, will he do time? Absolutely not.
Okay.
They're not going to put Don Lemon. I mean, it's not like he has a lengthy criminal history. It's not like they went in there and people got hurt. I think some lady broke her ankle going out. They're not going to put that man in prison behind. I mean, they could. Technically, I mean, they can. Will they?
Yeah, I mean, if I walked into a church yelling and interrupted the service, yeah, you don't go unless you got a lengthy criminal history, you're not going to prison for that, because that's really all it amounts to. They went in church protesting. I mean, if I go in church yelling and I interrupt the service and the pastor has to stop for a while, nobody's going to prison over that. And that's somebody who can't even really hire the best of attorneys. Somebody like Don Lemon has the best counsel out there.
Tim, there's another element to that, though. What Don Lemon did created fear. He terrorized people. Let me give you an example.
How?
Let's say let me say me and 20 of my buddies got all black and yellowed up. We got honey beat up. And we went to a mosque. And we just sat in the back. We didn't say anything. We didn't fuck with nobody.
Wait, Gen X. Gen X. Yellow and black. You a fucking Proud Boy. Everybody, look, you making it sound like you just having to put on the LeBron James outfit and a pair of black pants. No, you're a Proud Boy. It ain't got nothing to do with what you're wearing. It's who you are.
Tim, that was my point. If we all went fucking suited and booted and just went in the back of a mosque and sat there, we didn't say shit. We didn't bother anybody. We got up after 20 minutes and left. You tell me they'd be okay with that?
No, but they're basing that on the fact of your reputation. You think Don Lemon, his gay ass, he think he had a reputation? Reputation for what? Putting the mic in your face? Don Lemon don't have a reputation like the Proud Boys.
No, liberal fucking Minnesota liberals do.
Oh my!
Motherfucker, they burned that whole city down.
Don Lemon and even the Minnesota liberals don't have a reputation anywhere near like what the Proud Boys have. So it's night and day. Night and day.
They make us look like Boy Scouts.
That is not possible. That is not possible. I mean, Don Lemon, really? You think by him going to that church, he quote unquote terrorized people? What, are they scared to go to church now?
And the other thing is, I agree with Straight Talk about this. It's not about what happened. It's about the conspiracy beforehand. He knew what they were going to do.
Explain.
He knew it. He knew their
So you agree with Straight Talk that if you know somebody about to do something and you don't tell, that's a crime on you?
Depending on what it is. Yeah.
I don't care if you knew Timothy McVeigh was going to do what he did with a U-Haul. You ain't got nothing to do with it. You didn't buy any fertilizer. You just know he about to do it. It's not a crime for you not to tell anybody.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What is the crime? What would you be charged with?
To report. There's a duty to report. Look it up. It's
for an average citizen. So an average citizen has a duty to report.
Don Lemon's not an average citizen.
No,
he's a well-known so-called journalist.
I don't even think. I'd be curious to see even if I know teachers have, if a student's being abused or something, they got to. I mean, there's some professions where they do have a duty to report, but an average citizen, I've never heard of an average citizen saying they have a duty to report.
Let me tell you a law we have here in Montana. I believe they have it in the Dakotas too. If it's a certain temperature out, I think it's 10 below zero or something, and somebody's walking on an interstate and you don't pull over and offer them assistance, that's a crime. That's a crime.
If it's 10 below and somebody is stranded, as a driver, you have to offer them assistance.
Yes, it's a crime if you don't. Look it up, Google it. Your whole fucking chat to be like, oh, it's bullshit. But Google the shit. Yes, it's a crime.
Well, look, but that's not what we're talking about. It's similar. I get it. It's similar. I've never heard of that either, but it's similar. But what I'm saying is, if I know somebody's about to commit a major felony, you do realize snitching can put that person's life in jeopardy. So if I snitch,
snitches get stitches. Snitches get stitches. Those old church ladies would be shanking him.
I want to ask Alexa. Alexa, it's my Alexa. Alexa, does an average citizen have a duty to report a felony in progress?
Generally, there's no legal duty for average citizens to report crimes they witness. However, some states have specific laws requiring reporting of certain serious offenses like felonies, especially if you're in a position to do so safely.
Okay, so it could be. I mean, that doesn't prove me right or you right. In other words, it might be, it might not. I'd have to look it up.
It's a gray area. It's a gray area at best.
That's crazy. I have never heard of that before. Because look, I'm from the south side of Chicago. If you're from the hood, you've known about crimes ahead of time. I mean, I've known about plenty of people about to do things ahead of time, and it ain't me. But I've known about tons of crimes that were, people who had beefs and all kinds of shit. People who about to rip motherfuckers off, all that.
That's why you lie. You knew they were going to do it. I didn't know shit. But somebody, I didn't know shit. They can know everything. If they can't prove it, fuck them. I didn't know shit.
Well, I'll tell you something. The lady that organized that protest in Minnesota, she's already on record saying that she didn't tell Don Lemon anything. She said that she told him they were about to protest. She didn't tell him where or anything. She makes it clear he didn't know.
There was also a student that just recently got arrested in the last day or two that got arrested on federal crimes, and he snitched. He said Don Lemon knew days before what was going to happen, and he still chose to do what he did.
Yeah, but if the organizer says, we didn't even plan this days early. I mean, here's the point I'm making. For them to try to suggest that Don Lemon knew ahead of time, they're going to have to prove that in the court of law and convince jurors. I mean, we know the organizer is already saying it didn't happen. Now, you're saying somebody who was arrested, we need to find out, first of all, for them to give that testimony, did it benefit them in terms of their arrest to give it? But you got to prove that Don Lemon knew ahead of time, and I think that alone is going to be challenging.
It is, and there we agree.
Yeah, and also too, we need to find out if in Minnesota is that one of those states where if you know ahead of time, you got to do something about it. Because first they got to prove he knew, then they got to prove it's a law that says he has to tell somebody or anything like that. So I think they got an uphill battle. I think there's a reason why the judges in Minnesota basically wouldn't even take the case. They had to go to a grand jury to present that, which is basically you talking to a bunch of people without the other side defending themselves at all. That's why they say a grand jury can indict a ham sandwich. Everybody gets indicted through a grand jury because it's just one side. But when they went to a judge, the judge was like, this ain't nothing to this. So we'll see how it goes when it actually goes before a judge.
That's why I gave him 60-40. But regardless of how it turns out, Don Lemon is not going to jail behind it. At best, he'll get a supervised release because it's a federal crime. He'll get a supervised release and have to pick up cigarette butts at a fucking federal monument or something.
I think at best you'd be fortunate to get him to plead to some kind of misdemeanor, pay a fine, and be done with it. Agree not to go to the church or something like that. That dude got the best legal counsel there is, and this is a flimsy case at best. That dude ain't paying no significant punishment at all. In fact, you guys are making him millions of dollars making a big line out of that. Everybody's going to his page now. I see him on TikTok now, 6,000-7,000 motherfuckers watching him every broadcast, and that's just on TikTok. He across all these platforms like I am. You guys are making him a fortune doing that.
And that's a good point. That's a good point. The support he has now, that's another thing that'll be a consideration at sentencing. Because let's just say for the sake of argument, they said, okay, Mr. Lemon, you're going to sit in a minimum security federal prison for 6 months, 90 days, whatever. Man, they would start burning shit down, or they could possibly start burning shit down, looting shit, rioting. They don't want to deal with that shit.
Not only that, but you would turn the whole journalism community against the administration as well, because the journalists don't think Don Lemon should be charged with that either. So people are seeing the Trump administration as fucking with people's right to free speech. I mean, they're going at the colleges and universities because the protest. You got a call coming in?
No. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
They're going at the colleges and universities because they claim they're not their protest because they claim they're not defending Jewish people. He's going at the TV stations and shit, going at the threatening to sue comedians. You know, he don't like Jimmy Fallon and taking them off there. I mean, he is attacking people's free speech. I mean,
now if he didn't have that video evidence against him, Don Lemon, I'd be totally in your corner. I wouldn't agree with it, but I'd be in your corner. But that video evidence is going to damn him. Case in point, Trevor Noah. There is no way in hell that Trump is going to be able to sue Trevor Noah.
So why is he threatening him?
Because that's just Trump.
Right. It's just in him to threaten people's free speech. You're trying to scare comedians from talking about that is North Korea type shit. If you say something bad about the leader, we're gonna come after you. I mean, you're just joking, maybe, or you, as you say, he's just being Trump, but you are threatening people's free speech. Comedians been doing that shit for years.
Well, and I agree. Since Benjamin Franklin, political satire has been a fucking cornerstone of our politics.
So then you understand. So then you understand why people say that this man is a threat to your First Amendment. Then nobody else threatens to do that.
No, I don't believe that. First of all, I don't think when Trump says what he says, when he blurts something out, when they ask him a question and he blurts something out, he even goes down the check mark and says, "Is this a violation of this, and that?" No.
I'm not talking about how Trump thinks. I'm talking about how the citizens that are being threatened, how they think. Because he is suing he sued ABC, he sued he's actually won some of those lawsuits because they just settled out of court to pay him. I mean, he is suing people for what they say.
He may file a lawsuit on Don Lemon. I have no doubt, but will he win that? I would be shocked if he did.
But it ain't got nothing to do with whether he wins or not, Gen X. It's the fact is, people who cannot afford to hire lawyers to fight against him, it's going to make them stand down. You know, somebody like Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert, they can hire the best lawyers. But some local affiliate news girl that's only making, 80, 90,000 a year, she may not want to take certain stories on air because I can't hire a lawyer if he come after me. I mean, so you're silencing people. You're making people's free speech go away.
First of all, journalists are under the umbrella of the station, of the network.
I'm not arguing with you on law. I'm saying though, he is making. Why don't he know that is the point? He is saying things that goes against the traditional law, and it's up to you and I to know what he's saying is illegal. I mean, people don't expect the president to just say stuff that ain't true. If he's saying this, I don't want to fuck with it. I'm just not going to do it because he's threatening me. I'm not going to pretend like, well, what he's saying is illegal and the courts will protect me. And all. No, you're going to be silencing people.
Now, wait a second. You just said he's saying shit that's untrue. So that's against the law? If that's what he really believes?
No, I'm not saying it's against the law. No, I'm not saying it's against the law. What I'm saying is he is threatening people's free speech. If he says, I'm going to come to your house and kill you, yeah, it's against the law. You can't do that. But it's still going to scare the hell out of people. I mean, he's scaring the shit out of people's free speech. You don't see that?
No, I don't. I don't. Here's why I don't. I don't think that the underlying reason why Trump is doing that is maliciously to deprive somebody of their rights. What I believe is that Trump takes it as a personal attack and slander, and he does not differentiate between slander and free speech. Slander and free speech, there's a thin line between the two. I had this conversation with some friends of mine about the whole thing, and they were pushing, what Trevor Noah did was he pushed a false narrative on Trump on a platform that reached thousands of Americans and pushed a narrative. And my position was, it doesn't fucking matter. It's free speech. He's allowed to do that.
Well,
The
I'm just going
Constitution guarantees that.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you, when you're making threats against average Americans, that's going to scare people, whether what you're saying is something you can legitimately do or not. You are the president of the United States. You are going to scare people and make people back down on things that they may have been legally allowed to do because it's coming from such a high authority. I don't know why you don't see it. Real quick in the comments, though, Handsome Evil Finger says, Tim, you should ask Alexa if Gen X is a proud coyote or is he evil and twisted? LOL. And Gen X needs to recruit chunk mouth. He don't like straight talk. He gives some of the worst names. You disagree with some stuff straight talk said, so you don't totally agree with him. But you do lean to it.
Straight talk. I think straight talk's very intelligent. I think he talks a little too fast, and he fucking, once he gets on a roll, it's like, dude, slow the fuck down. But I think the man's pretty intelligent, and he makes a lot of good points that I don't think of, and I'm like, damn, I didn't think of that. But when he says something that I know is wrong, I'll call him out on it. I've done it before on your show.
Well, wait. I don't know if straight talk. I know one of my other viewers, Handsome Conservative, agrees because you're one of my guests that do not believe women should have the right to vote, and you believe men have a hierarchy over women. I'm correct when I say that, right?
No, I think women should be president.
So you do believe women should have the right to vote?
Fuck no. Repeal the 19. Get rid of that shit.
Let me just make sure. Let me get clarity for my guests at home. Give me I think you've done this before, but I just want to get clarity for folks who have never seen me. Why do you suggest women should not be allowed to vote?
What they should be allowed to vote on is the type of bread, lunch meat, and vegetables that go on a sandwich.
But not who can be president.
But not who's going to lead the country.
Why not?
Because women are too emotional. They're way too emotional. They base their logic on feelings and emotions rather than facts. And I'm not going to do once a month they would. No, women are fucking nuts 24/7. It ain't once a month.
100% of women are fucking nuts 24/7. 100% of them.
98.9, yeah.
And almost all men are capable of doing the job 100% of the time.
If they're not under the thumb of a fucking oppressive woman, yes.
You make it sound like women are bad for men.
No, women aren't. Actually, women are the best thing for men because they make us not do stupid shit. But let me ask you this, Tim. In hindsight, how many decisions in your past did you not make because your ex-wife fucking gave you shit about it? And now you think to yourself, God damn, I should have done that.
But that's called being in a partnership, Gen X. If me and you were, hold on. I'll give you an example.
My question.
I am going to answer your question. Probably several, but I'm going to answer your question. But let's say, for instance, you and I are on a ship together, on an island together, something like that, where what we do affects the other person. You know, I'm going to make decisions based on whether or not it's going to harm you as well. I mean, you guys are in a relationship together. Two gay men or two gay women, which I don't think you favor as well, but they're going to.
You just make me and you gay men.
No.
Man, shame on you.
I'm saying anybody that's in a partnership, whether we're trapped on a raft together or we're in a relationship, whatever the fuck it is, you are going to make decisions based on whether or not it will affect the other person. If you're married to someone, you can't just do whatever the fuck you want to do. So yes, your spouse is going to you're going to have to alter some of the things you would normally do, just like she or he is going to do that.
Well, let me tell you the difference. If me and you are on a raft in the ocean and we're hungry, and you're like, damn, X, I'm fucking hungry as fuck. There's some fish around here, and I point out a shark and say, man, there's a shark over there. You're like, oh, no, we're good. Don't worry about it. A woman would be like, he'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Just go on, get in and get us a fish. That's the difference.
So what are you saying? Women are not as smart as men?
No, women are smarter than men. Women are smarter than men, but they're not as street smart as men.
Explain.
Example I just gave you.
Lack of common sense. I'm trying to figure out what that means. They're not as street smart because you gave an example featuring the shark, so there was no streets around. So I'm trying to figure out how are women, in what way are women not smart as men? Give me a better elaboration on that.
Okay, this guy running for mayor, he's kind of cute. Oh my God, he's so fluffy and he wants to do this and he wants to do that. and he wants to do free transportation. And the guy's like, well, I don't know, man. If we get a snowstorm, there's going to be trash piled high in New York City. Oh, that doesn't matter. We'll get over it.
So you're saying
that's what I mean.
You're
Women
saying
see today, tomorrow, and the day after. Men see a month, 2 months, a year down the line. Because we don't base our decision on emotion. We base them on repetitive facts.
Yeah, but you gonna use the fact that a woman might think the mirror. I guess that's kind of a Mom Donnie comparison. You're gonna say a woman might view a mayor or a politician as cute, and that affects her decision. You realize how much money dudes spend over pussy? Go bankrupt over pussy. I mean, we do that way more than women do it.
You just made my point.
I obviously got to move it on. Gen X, you are one wild character. Always welcome back on the show. We don't agree on much, but you know how we do. Thanks for coming through, Gen X.
Great weekend, man. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Same. Tap the screen, folks. Get us on up to 140, better yet, 150,000. Show the program some love. If you believe women should vote, tap the screen. My God, I can't believe I said that. Smash that like button if you happen to be watching on YouTube. Certainly helps out the algorithm. Just some men behave like women. Wow. Kind of reminds me of the hip hop song that says, all you ninjas are bitches too. What about the 45-year-old MAGA man who assaulted a teenage girl protesting with school kids in Buda, Texas? That's on video, is it? Or some? I actually saw an article or something to that. I didn't read it because I was busy or something, but I did hear about that. Damn. 45? Fucking with a high school kid? Yikes. Richard Long says, love that, man. President Donald Trump, Michael, and Barack Obama. Is that what we're looking at? President Trump, Barack Obama, and Michael? Who's Michael? I don't see a mic in the video. On the screen. I know what you're trying to say. It happened in Austin, Portia. I heard about it, but I mean, was the person, the high school girl wasn't really injured too bad? That's terrible. Hopefully he's facing some sort of felony for that. That's horrible. And by the way, his time on the inside won't be good for that. You start attacking a high school girl. I mean, even in the county, it might not be good. So hopefully you said they whooped his ass when he pushed that girl. High school students came to her rescue. Shout out to them. Kel Brew. Yeah, that's crazy for an adult. You and your feelings that much you fucking with a high school kid? Yikes. Let me go back to the box. I heard the story. I didn't read up on it. I think I saw it. It was recommended to me, and I ended up getting tangled up in something else. So I did hear about it though. Let me go back to the box. We'll go ahead and make it happen with Mike the Boss. Just make sure I didn't miss anything. Did you all see the video released from the White House where they compared white people like Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton to a monkey and a pig? No, I have not seen a video. Joe Biden was what character was he? We've seen a video where a whole bunch of them were compared to various. Was Joe Biden a monkey in that video? I did see the whole video because Kamala Harris was a turtle, and I'm still. Can somebody let me know? Was that Hillary Clinton? Who was the fat pig on the platter in that video? Who was because Hillary Clinton ain't known for being fat. I'm wondering who does Trump have a problem with this overweight? Who was the fat pig in this video? Mike, good evening.
Hey man, geez, I mean, you just had the three stooges of racism on here. Jeez,
who are the three? Give me the three. Give me the three.
MAGA Reacts, Straight Stupid Commerce, and Proud Boy Gen X.
Y'all really don't. I cannot get any of y'all to pronounce Straight Talk Commerce name right. Y'all really don't like that dude, huh?
No, I do it on purpose.
Everybody does. So we get on into the video. Now they're giving reasons for why this was released. Trump didn't see the whole video. What do you got?
Wait a minute. We gotta clear up so much misinformation.
Talk to me.
First of all, a conviction is a conviction. The sentencing phase has nothing to do with the conviction.
That's my reaction.
Once you're convicted, you are no longer deemed innocent. So that's off the table, and now you're waiting for the sentencing phase. Let's just put that out there. So MAGA reacts, just read. Like,
yeah, that's what MAGA reacts said that because Trump wasn't sentenced, that means he's not a felon. Yeah, I disagree with it as well, because the only reason he wasn't sentenced is because he became president. That don't mean the felony goes away. He is a felon.
He's a felon. Don't be that stupid. A judge cannot overturn a conviction. You have to go through the appeals process, and another judge would have to hear the case and find that there was something in the original conviction to overturn it, to give you another trial. You damn idiot. You're an idiot, bro. Just Google it. Now, he tried to bring up Jeffrey, because he said he was waiting for trial when he was unalived in jail.
Yeah.
So you can't use him because he didn't go to trial yet. You idiot. Tim, I'm so tired of these motherfuckers coming on here talking about.
Let me say it like this. Let me say it like this. In regards to what MAGA said, you can't be a felon because you're not. If you're oftentimes when a jury comes back and they give a guilty verdict, many folks get to go home until the day they turn themselves in or until they get sentenced or whatever. But the minute they find you guilty, you got to wear an ankle bracelet or you got to give up your passport. You are a felon at that point. You got to give up your gun permit. You are a felon, even though you ain't been sentenced yet. You are a felon the minute they come back with a guilty verdict. They start treating you differently than they did when you walked into court. So I don't know why he believes that.
Again, because he's an idiot. And here's the problem. You bring us on to have to go.
You got haters. You ain't said shit. You got haters.
I ain't said exactly. I got haters. Look at that. I ain't said nothing.
You ain't said shit. Go ahead.
That's what they do, Tim. But here's the problem with that. They don't want to hear the truth, and this app doesn't want to hear it anymore. But the crazy part about it is sometimes once you're convicted, you have a completely different jury deciding the sentencing phase. Yeah. Completely different.
Yeah.
They'll send you home. Thank you for your service, and you can go home. And then they'll bring in another jury to decide the sentence. That's a fact. Now, when it comes to Don Lemon, they're probably gonna drop that case.
That's what I'm expecting. I mean, that shit is lame and weak as prison time. Nobody was injured of any significance. Okay, they didn't get to worship for an hour or two. It ain't like he burned the church down or something. I mean, you think the guy's gonna do some real prison time for that? That's insane.
Yeah, what did he do? And the crazy part is, about that is he has other journalists that have come out and said, I'm not a Don Lemon fan. I don't particularly like Don Lemon, but this is crazy.
Yep.
This is wrong. So what are we talking about? Yeah. And here's the thing. Here's another thing. If you go online, reciprocal tariffs are going to cost us short-term up to 40% increase in consumer pricing, long-term up to 19% consumer
Why
pricing.
do you think there are so many MAGA that believe the tariffs are going to be a boom for? Because almost all financial analysts, even the Charles Paynes and the folks on Fox News, and same thing with Fox News Talk, all of them folks are telling us the tariffs are something that are paid for by the citizens. It's not going to be produce all this wealth. And real quick in the comments, unapologetic black man says, I have a felony and I didn't do any time. So, but yeah, why do you think MAGA believes these tariffs are going to produce so much wealth?
Because they're crazy, Tim. Because these people don't like to read. Listen, there's 181 people in here. It's not like, this is what bothers me about all of this. It's not like you have to do a lot to find out this information. You can, and you got a screen. You be pissing me off because you don't be checking in real time. You got a screen in the back. All you got to do is just Google this shit real time. And guess what?
I got a fucking lot going on, Mike. I got 5 screens, 6, 7 screens in front of me. Comments are flying all over the goddamn place. I got to focus on what you're saying. And I got to occasionally look shit up. I'm a one-man band, all right?
I know. So you need to have somebody. You need to have a fact checker on. Just bring them up and fact check that shit. Because here's why I say that. They get to spew that shit in drop, and then now the fact it's like almost in a debate. That's why I like fact checking.
Listen, I do often fact check a lot. But like I said, there's a lot going on. Every single thing that is thrown at me. If I fact check that shit, the program I would be talking to each caller 30, 40 minutes each. I mean,
but wait a minute. No, I'm not letting you get away with that. No, because wait a minute. Now, watch, you're not going to like this.
Did I not just ask Alexa with my last caller about having a snitch? I just fact checked something the last caller.
I get it. I know. Did that bother you? See, this is the same problem the Democrats have. Look, took this full circle. You complained, and people said the Democrats didn't push back enough with all the lies and stuff from the right. It's hard to fact check all this bullshit, isn't it, Tim? It's hard to fact check it all real time now, isn't it? It's my entire point. It's my entire point about all of this. That's what Donald Trump does, and they don't care. Commerce, Gen X, and MAGA came up here and spewed all of that shit, and 80% of the stuff that they said was completely wrong.
And real quick in the comments, see how you says you just ask Alexa. Asking Alexa is really pretty much the same thing as asking Google. So
no, I understand. Yeah. I get it, but my point, and I'm not disparaging that. But what I'm saying, it's easy to say once you're convicted. You're convicted. It has nothing to do with the sentence. You're a felon at that point.
I don't even need to fact check that. I mean,
I know you don't. I know you don't. And you can't do math. MAGA, listen, you need to find a woman. You need to
Arsha Fan said the same thing. Arsha told him.
I'm telling you, because we all see it. You need to get that off of your soul, man. You need to release.
That's a good nut. That's a good nut. When the motherfucker say you need to get it off your soul, that's a good nut. God damn.
Yeah, I'm talking about when you start seeing people you ain't seen. Like when you start seeing the ancestors.
Oh my God.
You need one of them. You need one that'll make him see his ancestors from back wherever, his Egyptian ancestors or whatever.
What did the man say? Tell your mama I ain't never coming home again.
Tell your mama he need a sunshine. You don't even know what we're talking about. He needs sunshine. He'll stop spewing that bullshit. But listen, at the end of the day, we have to call things what they are. Don Lemon's not going to do it. And this is all retribution. Trump told us he was going to do it. Even, listen, Sean Hannity tried to get him to walk it back, and he was like, no, I told you what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Yeah. And so now, we're sitting here. But you know the things that we don't talk about? We don't talk about the Kennedy Center. We don't talk about
wait a minute. We did that was in the monologue. I want you to hear something since you brought that up, because we did mention that it hasn't came up as much, but I do want you to hear this if I can find where I have it. Because I watched what do you call it, Bill Maher, and Chris Christie was on there, and I know a lot of my folks on the right don't have any love for Chris Christie because he too is on the wrong side of Trump, but he made a statement that is kind of in regards to what you're talking about. It's only a few seconds long. I want you to hear this.
It's the interesting part because he doesn't, again, deal in subtlety. The sign says the Donald J. Trump and John F. Kennedy Memorial Arts Center. I mean, I read the paper every day. I miss that.
Yeah. So what he's talking about is now what you're talking about is the fact that what was the one where he was also talking about he wants to have a Dulles Airport or something named that? I mean, look, the guy wants his name on everything. That's the point. But you hear him talking about why would you put your name on a memorial? This guy's
ain't gonna put. I know it's Tim. This is crazy. And these people just sit on their thumb. They sit on their thumb and their ass on one hand and got Trump in their hand in the other. And make this seem like it's normal.
But
this shit isn't normal.
Did you hear what he said about Republicans behind his back though?
Well, and I believe that too. I 100% believe that. Matter of fact, I expect that. But the crazy part is, Tim, you don't have a shortage of people that go, no, the monkeys weren't really racist. If you look at the whole thing in context. So let me ask you this, Tim. Let me ask you this. And this is what's going to happen, I guarantee it. If you're at the grocery store and you're in the produce section and a white person just goes and tosses you a banana, what is that? What is it? No, I'm just asking. You remember the movie Remember the Titans? You remember when the coach didn't say a word?
That's with Denzel. I don't remember that. That's in Denzel. I don't remember. Yes. I saw the movie. I don't remember that.
And they had won the game. You remember because they had tossed him a banana and here's my point, Tim. These things have been going on since the beginning. That shit even happened to me, anecdotally speaking.
Wow.
I literally came out to my car at work. This is like 15 years ago. And it was the little banana and little Post-it note of the monkey see, monkey do, honeydew list. And it was a little to-do list with the monkeys on it on my windshield.
Damn.
This is like
and that's what I said yesterday when we discussed this, is that because obviously MAGA, many MAGA don't see this as racist at all. And that's one of the things I said. One of the things I said is comparing African Americans to primates has been considered universally racist for over 100 years. It to me is probably maybe one step below using the N-word. And I even asked Straight Talk that when he was trying to say it's not racist. I'm like, have you ever in your lifetime seen a white person compare an African American to a primate and it was not considered as racist? I mean, it's like the universal racist trope. If you do this, you will. I don't care if you're Eminem or some white dude that's well respected in the African American community. Once you do this, you're on the other side. I mean, there is no comedy that allows you to do this without you being considered as racist. Yet I don't know why MAGA keeps suggesting that this. I don't know. They seem to be shocked why people consider this as racist. It's been viewed as racist for over 100 years.
If it's not a big deal, when you go to work Monday, try that shit out in the office. I'm saying, if it's not a thing, Tim, if it's not a thing, when you go get gas tomorrow, when you pull up to go get gas after church, try that shit at the local gas station. Right, to the first black person you see, go ahead and call them that and see how that works out for you. Yeah. Here's my point. This is absurd, and we will never. And shout out to the white people that will say with their full chest that this is bullshit and call it out when they see it. Shout out to them because we need more of them.
But what about Jim Wilson? Jim Wilson in the comments says it was funny as fuck.
And again, you can call it funny as you want, and if it's that funny, share the joke with the next black person you see and find out how funny it is to them.
That would be interesting. Well, listen, I'm going to say it like this. Because Richard Pryor proved, and so did George Jefferson and Archie Bunker, they proved that racist jokes can be funny. That don't mean they're not racist, though. So Jim Wilson Jim Wilson 2014 says it's funny as fuck. It can be funny. Maybe you like laughing at racism. I mean, just because it's funny don't mean it ain't racist. Is what I'm talking about. Go, Mike.
Right, but here's the hypocrisy. So Jimmy Kimmel did his monologue and mentioned Trump, and he didn't find that funny, and he wanted to completely get rid of him. These bitches are the biggest hypocrites and whining babies of all time. They are as mediocre as I've always told you they were. You don't want anybody to say anything to you about the things you do, but you want all the control to control everybody around you. That is the epitome of mediocrity. You want the participation trophy put on your desk. You want to be able to say and do whatever you want, and everybody should just accept it.
But what about one of my viewers adamantly points out Trump did not post that. A staff member did. What say you?
Okay, here's what I say. Tim, when you're the head of a company or the head of an organization or you're the representative, I had to sign an ethics code of conduct ethics form every senior management position I had. I represented the company even when I wasn't at work. You remember the two that got caught cheating at the basketball game in the private suite when they were up there kissing, and then it went viral. That the dude, they worked together. You don't remember that? You don't remember that couple?
No.
This is about 6 months ago. They were at a sporting or at a concert. They were at a concert in the private booth, and they had put the camera on.
Oh, you talking about they were at the girl, the woman? Yeah, I mean that was big news. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They violated the code of conduct for that company.
Yeah. She was HR. She was HR, and I think he was the CEO, right?
Yes. So what I'm saying is, there's an expectation we should have about our leaders. And whether, now people want to say, first of all, he said he posted it. The White House said he posted it. Then they backed up and said someone else posted it. And then I just, listen.
That's what I was going, which is why the post says, what is the truth? Is because they did flip-flop MAGA reactions talking about stuff like maybe they didn't hear the sound or maybe they didn't watch all. I mean, they did give several reasons. Some people said it was a staffer, but you're right. Trump said he liked the lion in it. So Trump made it clear. I saw at least some of it. I liked what it looked like, and then I posted it. So the staffer part is something that it sounds like his supporters or maybe MAGA or somebody tried to throw in to defend him. But then when he was questioned on Air Force One, he made it clear, I liked me as a lion. I just didn't watch the rest of it and I posted it. So,
and again, he's a liar. He's a known liar. He's always been a liar. He's never shown character. He's never shown integrity. So it is what it is. But I'll say this to the people that think this is funny. You're endangering other people.
How is this endangering folks?
I'm going to tell you, Tim, and you. Every time he says something or he does something, you'll see a video, whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, of somebody going out and taking it a step further than what he said or what he did. Right? Think about everything that's said, everything that he does gets repeated. Somebody's going to go out and think that this is funny and do that shit in the wrong place, and they're going to get the fire slapped out their ass. And again, people need to be accountable. You ask for a leader. You say you want somebody that shows all of this strength. This is a bully. And it's funny how this app is flagging people for bullying, but they continue to support him. Think about this. That's bully shit that he does. They all do. They're just being bullies. And then Obama and Michelle, with the grace that they have, they don't say nothing. They move on with their life. They're at the Olympics cheering on isn't
that interesting? The Obamas did not even respond to this. They didn't release any statement at all, did they?
No, and I wouldn't have released anything either, because what is it going to do? Because at the end of the day, it's going to fan the flames. And sometimes you got to not say anything, not to protect yourself, but protect people around you. But we always have that burden, Tim. As African Americans in this country, we always have the burden of being resilient or not always reacting or forgiving. And then we're always told to move on or to get over it, or that was in the past. But guess what? And then they tell us that we're talking about race all the time, but they always do something to inject it into the conversation.
Speaking of the notion that you should just get over it, in the comments, your whole life is a lie. It says, quit being a sissy and grow up.
I know. Listen, they always say that, and they always say that because they say we're whining. But speaking of pussies, the same person that said that, go out and try that shit then. Go since I'm the pussy and apparently you've got all this testosterone, go out and try that shit tomorrow and come back on the live and tell me how that shit went out if you're able to do so. And this is the crazy part. We are never going to get closer. The division is going to continue to grow, and a lot of them want it. If the people that say that this is wrong don't stand up and say, that person who said that to me, they should be calling him out, not me. But see, what happens is we get called out. We get called out for trying to protect the integrity of our race because it's always under attack. We're always under attack, Tim.
But what about? But how you respond to folks who might suggest, look, Trump sees Obama's, Hillary Clinton and the rest of the folks in the video as adversaries. He posted a picture of the Obamas as monkeys or whatever. He wasn't attacking a whole black race. It was just them two. Why are you trying to say that somehow it's racist when he was only going after his enemies?
Because every time we're targeted, every time one of us is targeted, all of us are targeted. Now, let me give you an example. You show me a picture, and see, we don't do this, where you remember like when Trayvon Martin was unalived, and then a lot of white folks was online making this, we're Trayvoning, depicting him laying on the ground with the Skittles and stuff in their hand. Yeah. They don't deem that deplorable. But the minute that we just support an African American or push back on that, we're being sensitive. We always have the burden to acquiesce, to make them comfortable, and they want to put us back on a porch like we can't look, we can't walk there, across the street, hold your head down, don't say nothing. And it's like, we're not there no more. We're not just going to stand by now. The fact of the matter is, Michelle and Barack are so classy they're not even going to dignify that with the response. But do you think they're just thinking about themselves, or you think they're thinking about Black people and the American population as a whole?
I can't speak on it because a whole lot of Black people want them to go scorched earth.
I know, and they'll never do it.
No,
because they know if they go scorched earth, it's giving these races exactly what they want. They want us to come off the porch and go on the streets and act.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said all the time, you know, because a lot of folks say you got Trump derangement syndrome if you keep talking about him or attacking him. My belief is if you do not say anything about Trump, then you'll just be a punching bag, which is exactly what they are. I mean, they're not saying anything about Trump at all, and he's just swinging and hitting them. I mean, they just so they can keep taking the high road all they want. Then they're just gonna be a punching bag. Just because you ain't saying nothing about Trump, don't mean he ain't gonna keep insulting you. He is going to keep attacking Obama's. Hell, I believe Obama could die and he would still keep attacking him. It's just you're going to be a punching bag. Taking a high road with Trump don't mean he gonna follow you. It just means you just gonna be a punching bag. I'll give you the last word. I do got to move on.
Yep, that's perfect. So listen, at the end of the day, what bullies like to pick on somebody that they believe is inferior to them. But when you don't get a reaction from somebody, you don't know where they're coming from. Those are the ones you got to watch out for. You got to be careful when somebody doesn't react the way you want them to react and you think that that's a weakness, because that's how you end up sitting on your pockets, right? That's how you end up picking out shapes in the clouds and shit. And yeah, well, and the problem with this, Tim, and I'm going to leave it here. If we don't find a way to look at this behavior and go, that's deplorable, that's despicable, no matter who it comes from, instead of trying to pick out, because trust me, if Obama responded, then they would say that if he posted something like that, they would forget that Trump ever posted that and attack him based on what he did.
Yeah.
That's what this country is. That's who they've always been. And we know it. We know them better than they know themselves. And the fact that he'll say he'll never apologize to it, it's not a strength, it's a weakness. It's a weakness. But guess what? People that love it, they're weak too. The people that love this behavior, they're actually weaker because they're the person standing next to the bully talking all the shit that won't do nothing.
I'll leave it at that. They're very happy with Trump. I got to move it on though, Mike. Thank you. By the way, folks, tap the screen, get us on up to 100 and can we get 170? I might be asking him. There's a few of you guys in here. Tap the screen, help your boy out. He don't need to say in quality Leering Center, you know, guys, that's the play on Somali daycare there in Minnesota, says he don't need to say sorry. He's okay in my book. I think he's okay in that book of most MAGA. And by the way, let me just be clear. For folks who say this is not, you know, this is not racist or whatever. For MAGA, I think he could come out and say, so what? Maybe I am a racist. You know, maybe they are garbage or something. MAGA's not going to go anywhere for this shit. That's my opinion. You know, MAGA believes that Trump is doing great for this country. What do I say about 90-10 issues? Same thing with Epstein. The guy is doing a great job for America, leading us down the path of greatness, making America great again. I don't like everything he does, but 90% of his policies, I believe, is in the best interest of the country. So even if he came out and said, yeah, so what, I'm racist, who gives a shit? I'm doing what's right for the country. There's some blacks that don't like me either. MAGA's not going anywhere. So for folks who think you're going to enlighten MAGA and point out that he's racist, they're not going anywhere. Same thing with the Epstein shit. It's not, when the guy said middle of Fifth Avenue, he could take a life in the middle of Fifth Avenue and his supporters would not go anywhere. Something is in him that made him say that. He didn't get that from anywhere else. Something led him to believe, based on his analysis from going to rallies and crowds and speaking with his fellow Americans, something led him to suggest that I could take somebody's life and my supporters would not go anywhere. Nobody made him say that. So the guy knows his people. What did he say on January 6th? They're not here for me. The guy is a genius when it comes to dealing with his people. He's a very smart man. He knows his crowd. And yeah, I don't believe that we can, like I said, we can debate back and forth whether you think it's racist or not. I don't think it fucking matters with MAGA. I don't think it really fucking matters. Looking in the comments, though, I feel really bad for you. Truly uneducated beyond belief, says Aaron. Aaron, look, that's why you're here, sir. Perhaps you could be the professor today. Come on over to Instagram, TikTok, or Substack. We'll bring you up. You can educate me and anyone else watching the program. We don't censor you, Aaron. We don't censor you. Feel free to make those type of statements, correct what must be corrected, and we'll certainly give you plenty of time to get your opinion across. You're dealing with an uncensored environment, Aaron. So don't worry about that. Bring your politics, whatever you feel. Come on over and talk to us. I'll leave a place for you, kind of like Motel 6. We'll leave the light on for you. Anyway, looking at the comments, is he a very smart man, or are they the opposite, Tim? Could be both. Could be both. If I'm able to sell ice to Eskimos, am I smart, or are the Eskimos dumb enough not to know they can't get ice from their own environment? Well, I got to be smart enough to make some kind of pitch to them that leads them to believe they're better off buying ice from me than what's naturally produced around them all the time. So there is going to take some education from me. And I do believe President Trump is probably politically the best salesman we've ever had. I believe, if you believe MAGA's a cult, you ain't seen that from Obama's supporters or Bush supporters or Biden supporters. So something about him selling himself to his people. By the way, that's your job as a politician. Your job as a politician is to sell yourself to your constituents, to the voters. I don't think anybody does it better than Trump. I don't think anybody does it better than Trump. Now, I'm not going to pretend like everything he says is true or that he delivers on everything. But at the end of the day, as a politician, all you got to do is get them to believe it. Nobody does it better than Trump. Anyway, looking in the comments, I don't need, but it says, I don't need read aloud for validation. You can ignore me. Hell, I recommend it. Okay, I don't need read. You do need read. You actually do need read. Once you get educated, the Leering Center. Oh my God. Let me go back to the box. You don't need read. We'll continue on with Tamar, New Jersey's best. Good evening, Tamar. Welcome to the program. Tamar, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. I'm hanging around a Leering Center, educating some of my voters, some of my viewers. So you see what's on the monitor behind you. What was your take on this when you saw this?
It was a straight joke. I mean, he's a joke. It was racist. But you know what? I'm going to say to MAGA reacts. It takes a real man to admit when you make a mistake. And because he was saying that he should apologize in the comment section. And I was typing when you.
MAGA reacts was saying, who should apologize?
He mentioned that Trump should apologize for the post.
I don't get, something. It's crazy. It's interesting he was saying, because I don't get a lot of MAGA that believe President Trump should apologize for this. Not a lot of MAGA believes that.
But the whole thing is that it takes a real man to admit when you make a mistake, and that's not Trump. This White House is like I said, Eric Cartman from South Park. It's like a bunch of children running the country.
Well,
the stuff they do, like when Don Lemon got arrested, they go and post something like, it's almost like they're little kids.
Well,
I've never seen nothing like this.
I guess the first thing I'm going to say, because I want to play this clip for you. When you say it takes a grown man to realize he made a mistake, I want you to admit he made a mistake. I want you to hear this.
A number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. They had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff of The Lion King. I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time.
I don't know why he keeps saying, but he started out by saying, I didn't make a mistake. So when you say it takes a grown man to acknowledge he made a mistake, he makes it clear, I didn't make a mistake.
Yeah. And the thing is, he contradicted what Caroline Lovett said, because she said that it was a staffer. He debunked that shit and said, no, I did it.
Yeah, right. That's crazy that it's crazy that they do that.
Your own staffer.
Yeah,
Go ahead, my bad.
It's crazy that so many folks rush to defend when he does something controversial. The default position should be, let's wait till he says something, because they do oftentimes rush out created defense for President Trump, and then he goes on television and just makes it clear what you just said was a lie. That Sarah Huckabee Sanders used to deal with that all the time. She'd be on television doing the same thing that Caroline Levitt does, and she's defending Trump, and he's online posting some shit that goes completely against the defense she's giving him. So I don't know why they haven't learned by now. Let him answer it. Don't rush to defend them.
I'm surprised the staff is not offing himself because of like how stressful it has to be to work for this guy.
They actually employment-wise, they actually do off themselves. They quit pretty frequently. They don't last long. They quit pretty frequently.
They do. I mean, can you imagine it? Can you imagine you're his PR person and he's up at 2 o'clock in the morning sending out all these crazy ass posts, and next thing you know in the morning, you're the one that has to clean up everything. Like
the pay for that job Carolyn Levitt has must be pretty high. But I mean, listen, it is a historical job. There's only so many presidential spokespeople that have come through, probably less than 100 of them in history. So, I mean, it's an honorable position, but yeah, he makes it stressful as hell after. I mean, but think about it. Karine, what was her name? St. Pierre or whatever that was doing it for Obama. I mean, for Biden. She had to explain him falling off bikes and going to sleep and shit. And she had to make it sound like he's coherent. I mean, it ain't an easy job.
I'll say this: Biden fell asleep, but he never fell asleep on live TV doing important stuff. Like
I think he did. I believe
he fell asleep at a funeral. It was a funeral and something else that Biden got caught on TV.
No, he's falling asleep talking to world leaders because I posted a picture of it yesterday. He has fallen asleep in the middle of important things as well. I mean, Biden. Look, I'm not going to defend Biden.
They both are old men.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're both grandpas, and I mean. Biden, at least Trump's excuse is that he's up to the middle of the night because he got Alzheimer's or was it dementia probably beginning stages. That's why he doesn't sleep. Our president works 24/7. Yeah, he works 24/7.
But it's interesting you brought that because the whole comment of our president works 24/7. When Trump is trying to say a staffer was up at 10 o'clock at night posting this thing, no, your president works 24/7. That was him up at 10 o'clock at night posting that Lion King picture. It wasn't nobody else. Yeah.
But Tim, didn't I tell you that they're up to something with these elections? Yeah. I've been saying it. I can't put my finger exactly on it, but I have a feeling he's going to try to say because he got robbed. 2020.
That's becoming pretty obvious. Yeah, that's becoming pretty obvious.
This is the reason that he should be able to run for another term because they stole it in 2020.
But even if you can prove they did steal the election in 2020, you have served 2 full terms. You don't get a third one because of that.
But in his world, it's probably going to be that. Yeah. I mean, the Congress, they do whatever the fuck he says. The Senate is basically doing whatever he says. They claim they always want to take credit for, we're the hardest working under this administration, this and that. Nobody's seen administration work this good, this best. We're the best this, we're the best that. But
here's what I don't get. We've had under Obama. Under Biden, all you heard about is Biden is too old. We need to have some kind of, not only a cognitive test, but we need to limit on how old you can be to run. But suddenly when it comes to Trump 2028, he'll be 83 years old. So you got MAGA believing that he can serve viably, he can actually be a viable president from the ages of 83 to 87?
You know why? Because he wants to pass it on. He wants to pass away in office and pass it on to his heir apparent, whoever he wants. That's why I said it's almost like they're trying to take the Democrats out from the higher ups. You can't do it with the governors because each state is different. But if you can make sure that you'll never see another Democrat president, mission accomplished. Like I told you.
What would the country be like if we never see a Democrat? Let's say, for instance, the next 20 years, all the presidents lean right. What do you think the country would be like after that?
I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be a lot of people of color in it. I tell you that much.
What do you think they're gonna do? Wipe the colored people out?
Deport them. Send them to Africa. Oh, the ones, the undesirable ones, the ones that's getting in trouble and stuff. Deport them. Oh, you're a Haitian. No, I was born in Chicago. Oh, you sound like you got a little French in your.
But how do you force nations? Okay, if for some reason, let's say, God forbid, I can't even imagine this ever happening, but let's say, for instance, the goal was to get every or as many colored people out of the country as possible. How do you force other countries to just take people that ain't from there?
Money talks, right?
So just pay people to take the Negroes.
That's what they did in what was that?
El Salvador, yeah. They did it in Africa too. They're doing it in Africa as well. They have paid Africans because those 1,200 people that were in Alligator Alcatraz, they have never been seen or heard from again.
And they're about to do it with Somaliland with the Palestinians in Gaza. Israel just the country with the star.
I don't think they're gonna be able to do that to the Palestinians because the Middle East. I mean, the Middle East is aware of what's going on. I don't think they can make all them folks.
They're aware of it. You think what's going to be able to stop them when they have America backing them? What's going to stop? You think America? I mean, you think America could take on the whole Middle East like that? I mean, when you think about how much resistance Iraq put up against us, we can do a lot of damage by air, but if you're on the ground over there, people gonna die. I mean, the Iraqis proved that. So did the Afghanis. So the whole Middle East, I don't know about that one. I mean, I don't know about it, but we're talking about people that think they're superior than everything. So.
No,
of course,
that's our country. We all look at our military and our prowess and think we're superior. Most Americans think that of all colors.
But you got a bunch of people ganging up on you, and you're burning bridges, and you're just taking up for that country with the star in it.
Yeah, we have burned a lot of bridges. I've never seen so many bridges burned in such a short period of time.
And we allowed, what's next is probably going to attack Iran because they have to distract from those Epstein files and from what they're trying to do with this election.
I don't get it though. I don't get the need to distract. Like I said, it's a 90-10 issue. MAGA ain't going nowhere because of the Epstein files. The people who are not MAGA overwhelmingly think Trump is already guilty. Obviously, all the Democrats just about think he's a pedo, and a lot of independents do. MAGA thinks he's 100% innocent, complete with Halo. So it really don't matter. All the Epstein files can do is verify what one side or the other believes, but everybody already has their mind made up about him anyway. And thank you there, Trucker Man for Life. Thank you. Say that again.
They're already building concentration camps, like 6 of them, throughout the country. I think one in Utah. I think that's more for homeless people.
I haven't heard of that.
To send homeless people.
I haven't heard of that. And by the way, in the comments, Danny,
all on social media.
Danny Dan 360 and Trucker Man for Life. Thank you, folks, for helping support the program. You guys help your boy out with the TikTok cap go. Thank you for you too. Thank you for showing support. Concentration camps.
Well, it's not. It's modern. It's not concentration camps, but it's prisons for for the immigrants, for the illegal immigrants, and then I guess the Antifa type of people.
I mean, God damn it, JPT Farms at Blue One Bank. Say that again.
I've heard it on 5 different platforms on YouTube. How true it is, I don't know. I've listened to a different amount. 5 different people say that.
Yeah. And real quick in the comments, and thank you. Wow, you guys are JPT Farms and Blue One Banks. Thank you. In the comments, real quick, Just Me says the host doesn't give his number. All his friends call him. We're live on Instagram, TikTok.
You tell it repeatedly.
Yeah, repeatedly I say this, but look, there's a lot of new people filtering on YouTube. I got over 1,000 people watching me right now. So on the different YouTube platforms. But what it's saying is, let me make it clear for you folks watching me. If you want to get in on the dialogue, We go by the Handsome Liberal on all of the platforms. Don't worry about the fucking name. I understand a lot of you guys think I'm uglier than a motherfucker. I get it. But go to Instagram, TikTok, or Substack. We take you live as is. Your politics does not matter. You can correct the host. You can speak freely, uncensored. That's how you call in. You don't call an actual number. So Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, the Handsome Liberal, across those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub, smash that like button. That's how it works. Tomorrow, yeah, I do tell them over and over again. They just don't hear it. Whoa, trust them, man. Oh, thank you. Yeah, go ahead. You geeked me up.
I said, you're a pharaoh right there.
Yeah, you geeked me up. Had me looking like I didn't know what sex I represent. Had me transitioning on screen and shit. So, what was I about to say? Real quick before we continue on. This is your boy. We talked about. I want you to. This is a quick video. I want you to see this. Okay. He's asleep there. This is Biden asleep in public.
Joe Biden has a history of falling asleep during major events dating back to before his presidency. During an April 2020 Women's Town Hall on COVID-19, Biden appeared to fall asleep on camera while receiving an endorsement from Hillary Clinton. Throughout her speech, Biden would periodically look down, but at one point his eyes appeared to remain closed for around 15 seconds while Clinton continued speaking. After he assumed the presidency, Biden appeared to doze off during a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett in September 2021. Biden was mocked by former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the viral moment.
There's more of it. I'm not gonna play it all, but when you say he hasn't fallen asleep in public, yeah, he has. So this could be where Trump called him sleepy. So
well, they don't blow it up like Trump does. Like Trump.
Well, Trump is
in a whole cabinet, a whole table full of cabinet meeting with a whole table full of people sucking them off.
But oh my God! But that's why I say President Trump is.
How do you fall asleep doing that?
Well, but that's why I say President Trump is the best there ever was at doing it in terms of messaging, because he can actually point out your flaw while doing the exact same shit and lead his supporters to believe that only you doing it. Because you're right, he falls asleep in public too, and they only see Biden as sleepy.
He's sitting up there going, but he's calling him Sleepy Joe.
Well, but I will. But I got to defend Trump and say that Trump does hold a much longer schedule than Biden. Trump is up at 2, 3 in the morning. Biden is sleep on TV, and then he goes home and pass out too.
That's true, but Trump is, like you said, he's the greatest salesman. He's the greatest con artist that we've ever seen in
there's a lot of
history.
There's a lot
What's
of
that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Catch Me If You Can?
Catch Me If You Can,
or something
yes.
like that when he was a con artist.
Well, but understand, being a salesman and a con artist, there's a lot of similarities. I mean, other than the law, they're pretty much the same thing. I mean, other than the fact that being a con man is illegal and being a salesman is legal, other than that, they're kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same shit.
I guess so.
One of them just said you just sold somebody some shit that violates laws that are in place. This other guy sold him things that are totally legal. We've actually passed laws that made legal salesmen become illegal, like payday loans near military bases. At one point, it was okay to solicit and promote that shit. All of a sudden, they passed a law. Now you can't do it anymore. Salesmen and the conmen is the second. They passed a law because the interest rates and stuff were too high. At one point, it was legal. Now you're a con man when you do it. So there's a lot of similarities between a salesman and a con man.
And one more thing, Tim, I do Uber too, and I actually was doing Uber when you first started, when MAGA Reacts was on, and one of the riders heard him, and they was like, "Oh my God, what's wrong?" and this was like some Lily like preppy white lady. She was just like, "What?"
You playing me while you taking trips. I feel honored.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. That makes me feel good. I'm better than AM radio. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And another time, I got a writer from Canada, and and we started talking political, and he told me that he was actually okay with America taking over for Canada. Taking over Canada.
That is about as. I mean, and there are folks, because there are Canadians that are anti-immigrant, and some there are far right Canadians, just like in Greenland there were a few people. But the problem is that is a really unpatriotic thing to say. You would favor another country taking over your nation? That's unpatriotic as hell to say that.
And he explained about like the healthcare thing. He said like the taxes that you pay for the healthcare, and like even if you try to go out on your own, you still have to pay those taxes. So if you was like, hey, I don't want the government healthcare, I want to do my own, it still comes out. They still deduct it from your taxes and stuff.
Yeah, because and a lot of people say that here, but that's because they don't give a shit about the uninsured. There's no way you're going to be able to give insurance to poor people without increasing your taxes. That's how you look out for poor people. You have to take a little bit from those who have. If the people who have says, I don't want any of my money to be affected by us helping out poor people, then you're not going to help them out. And that's why most of the people who don't want their taxes increased do not want, those are the people who believe that healthcare should be optional. So if you poor, you can't afford it, then you should be left uninsured. That's kind of their mindset on that. So
yeah,
but to want another nation taking you over, that is terrible.
Yeah, they said they was okay with it. He said he was okay with it. They were from a French part. I forget what part of Canada, but
Quebec, Montreal, Manitoba. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's terrible.
So it was one of those areas, but they was really okay with it. I was surprised because I've had other people from Canada that was not down.
Well, there is a MAGA movement, MEGA, like MAGA, but MEGA, Make England Great. I mean, Trump, the way Trump is governed in America is unpopular and very popular in most countries. The far right community in England, Germany, all of these countries like Trump. I mean, he's a far right politician, and people who have far right ideology in those countries favor wanting a government like what he's trying to give America. I got to move it on. I'll give you the last word, but his popularity is something that will probably outlive us. I mean, I believe the MAGA hat will be a symbol of the far right, like a lot of other stuff, like Confederate flag. Yeah, like a lot of that stuff. You'll see people, young kids and stuff like that, wearing MAGA hats 40, 50 years from now. It represents a movement. Last word on you.
Mark my words, I don't know exactly what it is, but there will be something happening that will affect these midterms because of this administration. I'm putting it on record. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be some type of, with them sending ICE to multiple Democrat cities and states, and then having people, the goons, rough them up and make stuff bad for people, and then people react. Like if they was doing what they was doing in Minnesota, in this tri-state area, like New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, it would not be it wouldn't be no protests. It'd be straight out probably riots in certain parts.
It would be that way. I think it would be that way in Minnesota too if the weather was better. If it was 40, 50 degrees instead of 10, you have a lot more motherfuckers outside. I think that the only reason Minnesota didn't become a powder, because it became a powder keg under George Floyd, so they know how to party in Minnesota. I just think it was so damn cold that had a lot to do with it. Tamar, thanks for coming through. Appreciate it.
All right, Tim.
And by the way, the population in New Jersey and New York is a lot stronger too, so he certainly is probably more correct on that. That's one of the things I've talked about is folks talk. They ask a lot of folks on the right, what the fuck is up with Minnesota? President Trump has sent folks to Memphis, folks to New Orleans. There was no drama in those cities. What the fuck is up with these people in Minnesota? My opinion is, first of all, I think he sent law enforcement to New Orleans and law enforcement to Memphis. He sent goons to Minneapolis. So the mission statement of ICE in Minneapolis, I believe, was different than the mission statement in Memphis and in New Orleans. That's the first thing, because he is friends, or friendly rather. He's friendly with the governors of Louisiana and Tennessee. He hates Tim Walz, so he don't give a shit about fucking up that state or the citizens of that state or that city. So that's the first thing. All police departments don't have the same mission statement. Like, and I always use, some of you folks have heard me say this. I use this example in the past, being from the south side of Chicago. Chicago has a lot of riffraff in it. And there are neighboring suburbs of Chicago that don't want Chicago residents in their suburbs driving through their. So if you go driving through a Chicago suburb and they can see the window sticker on your car or something, they know you're a Chicago resident, they're more likely to fuck with you. So that you get the message, don't come in this town. They don't want you coming through there. Now all suburbs ain't like that. Some of them are. Some of the more posh suburbs. Some of the suburbs that may not be as much as diverse. They don't want certain people coming through the towns. So the mission statement to those law enforcement officials is, I need you to limit the amount of Chicago residents coming through this town. And I believe that when ICE went to Minneapolis, they were given a different mission statement. I need you to let these liberals know who's in charge. I need you to let these protesters know we ain't taking no shit. Stuff like that, where they may not have had that same mission statement in Louisiana or Tennessee. Because you see a lot of the protests in Minneapolis, it's just really the cops fucking with the protesters. It ain't like they actually doing a sting or some type of major operation. They just in the streets, battling and roughing it up with the protesters. Fuck it. They out here. We're going to get out here and show them what's going on. You see Bovino throwing tear gas into the crowd and shit. They not running any operation. They're just letting these protesters know who's in charge. They didn't do that in Memphis. They didn't do that in New Orleans. You think the people in Tennessee and Louisiana don't have cameras? Notice the videos that are coming out of Memphis or better yet Minneapolis are significantly worse than they have came out of anywhere else. Everybody has camera phones. If they were doing the same shit in Memphis or Louisiana, they would be showing you photos of it as well. So yeah, I believe the ICE officials and border enforcement, whatever they call themselves, border patrol or whatever, they got a different mission statement down in Minnesota or up in Minnesota. That's why it went worse. It ain't that the citizens are acting a fool. Think about it. Memphis, Tennessee has had several designations as the murder capital of this country. The homicide rate, the crime rate in Memphis is off the fucking chain. New Orleans is only a distant second or third. Minnesota, Minneapolis ain't even in the top 10 of most dangerous cities. So you're going to tell me you went to the murder capital in this violent place like New Orleans and y'all didn't have any problems, but then you go to a predominantly white working class, and the cost of living in Minneapolis is pretty fucking high. These people all got jobs, and that's where you had all the drama. The white people turned on you. Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy, no criminal history at all. They wait until they're in their late 30s to start fucking with cops. That don't make any sense. That don't make it. It ain't that the Minneapolis residents were just pushing back for the sake of pushing back. ICE was given a mission statement, and President Trump, by the way, admitted when they asked him, did you learn anything from Minnesota? He flat out stated the heavy-handed approach was probably not a good idea, something of that nature. So he admitted we went there with a heavy-handed approach. JD Vance taking to social media in the middle of that shit, posting, don't forget you got immunity while you're there. They didn't do that when they went to Tennessee, when they went to Louisiana. The mission statement of the cops in Minnesota was, you are free to keep these fuckers in line, and don't worry, we got your back. That's what happened. And that's exactly what happened. They went there, felt the sense of freedom from the government, protecting them, and they wowed out on folks. Now, if you lean right, you got what you wanted. You seen a bunch of liberals getting their asses kicked, getting tear gas, arrested, a couple of them getting killed. That's what you wanted to see. You got what you wanted to see, which is why you see many folks in the comment section for Alex Preddy or even the death of Renee Nicole Good typing the same words you see oftentimes. This is what we voted for. So they got a different mission statement. The outcome is such, and most likely that's the same kind of mission statement they're going to get from any liberal city that speaks ill of them coming there. Chicago, in Los Angeles, when they go to those cities, they're going to be told you got a lot more liberties than you do if you go to a city that's in a Republican state. And most likely the drama will ensue. Anyway, I appreciate the 177,000. You guys have been real good on tapping the screen and certainly smashing that like button on YouTube. You favor this type of programming, feel free to follow the program if you're watching on Instagram, Substack, or TikTok. And if you happen to be watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. Until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got to step away. Take care. And thank you on Substack. Thank you, folks, as well. And I'll catch you later. Gotta go.